think we had fixed the audio issue. Thanks for bearing with us. So
Are we back online?
we are back online.
All right, so do we want to redo the introductions?
All right. Test. Could we get a test in chat if we got audio going?
Play that dope music real quick.
I think we're good to go.
Let's see.
Hey, we're up to 8 viewers. Look
Yeah?
at this. This broke podcast right now. We got 8 viewers
man.
right now.
Stick with us, guys.
Share
I
it.
think
Share
we
it.
can. Yep, we're good. We
All
got,
right.
we
All
got
right,
the
share
okay,
it.
guys. We got the okay.
Good. All right.
Had to go back to the old system. See, I'm still fiddling with this new system, bro.
At least you got the backup.
Yeah,
That was-
so thanks
right.
everyone for joining us. Sorry we were having some technical difficulties there. Glad we figured it out before the whole podcast was over.
Yeah.
But
So, Joe, tell us about this little nickname you were going on.
so as you guys have seen, I have my buddy here, longtime good friend, real estate agent guy, Joe Gary.
That's me.
One of the best in town. I know I got a few friends that are, trying to get their real estate license and stuff. So it's going to be interesting kind of seeing how that progresses. But
Tell him to do it. Don't
Yeah.
say just do.
hey, he's got
Hey,
he's
he
the
already got it.
idea.
He already got it.
Tell him.
That's pretty catchy little slogan I came up with, huh? You like that?
That's good. Yeah.
So one thing I'm super envious about with you is the amount of free time you have. Like you just have so much more freedom being like your own business owner, and I'm kind of envious of that.
It's a gift and a curse.
Yeah,
It's,
because you got to obviously stay motivated with all that freedom, right?
You have to, and you can be on top of the world 1 minute and down in the slumps the next.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep that motivation when you have done things you've never done before. You hit a level of performance you've never gone to before, so it's easy to say like, oh, I did this and take a break, and the moment you do that, things can fall downhill real quick. But it is nice. It is nice, and I believe that everyone should have an opportunity in their lifetime to actually experience life
Yeah.
without being told what time to wake up, what time to go to bed, what time to come to a certain place, what time they can eat, what time they can use the bathroom.
Because you come from with me at the call center, right? We worked at T-Mobile call center for a few years before you jumped into this real estate stuff, and it's like they watch you do everything. Like there's nothing you get away with. Everything's timed out. Chris works there now, and
Literally, bro. They talk about you like everybody knows yours and Marshall's names. Like it's crazy. Like Marshall's in the retail industry or retail part of it. But yeah, you ask about Joe Gary. Like, Ufferman was gonna hit you up for her. Did you help her with her house, or she went with
Who?
somebody? Caitlin Ufferman.
Yeah, no, she didn't. She went with someone else. No comment. No comment.
Yeah, but no. The thing, Joe, that really got me is like, how'd you make that step to? Because you were very successful at T-Mobile. What made you want to get make that step?
I just answered someone earlier today, and it was a series of unfortunate events. If you had asked me 5 years ago what I would be doing in 5 years, I would have told you I'll be a manager at this call center. That would have been my answer to you.
And they make bank too.
They do all right, yeah.
Not in the real estate though.
I mean, it's just it's
it's a different job and title entirely.
yeah, and it's just all in perspective. Everyone just kind of has a different definition of doing well and making bank and all the different things. And one of the unfortunate events that happened to me, really put it into perspective that the amount of money I was making at T-Mobile, even doing overtime. So before I left, I was doing pretty decent, but I was clocking 60, 70 hours a week, and that was every week. I was doing 60 and 70 hours. And even doing that amount of work, I barely was breaking even between all of my bills and everything. It just became a real slippery slope. And I knew overtime was going to last forever. And so I was barely above water doing overtime, and knowing that, at that time they were offering like endless overtime. You could just literally go in when you wanted, as long as you didn't do more than 72 hours a week or whatever the law is, 78 or 80. I don't know what the number is, but I was literally doing the maximum amount of hours you could do every single week. And I was barely floating. So I was like, as soon as they take this overtime away, like I can't pay my bills. And I knew at that point, like for the amount of money I needed to either be a manager right then, which would be 2 promotions. And back then, it wasn't.
Like it is now, where everybody it's inside.
It's a whole different beast. Yeah, so it was like to become manager. I mean, there's a lot of and it always is. You know, in corporate America, there's a lot of politics involved, and I was never the one to, you know. Can we cuss on here?
Sure.
Yeah.
I got the mature audience on there.
You weren't an ass kisser.
I'd never kiss ass, never. And I think that's one of the things that didn't rub a lot of people the right way is they didn't like how straightforward and honest I was. So long story short is the unfortunate events that caused my monthly expenses to be what they were drove me to a point where I realized I need to make a substantial amount of more money very quickly. And I had, you know, kind of had a few I don't know. I'm a firm believer in just everything happening for a reason, be it God or the universe or whatever it is. But there are a lot of things that led
God
me,
or the universe, though.
It's no one has the answer. It's one of the two. I will say it's something. It's not just life. It's not, you know, there's way too many coincidences, and they're not coincidences. It's just anything I ever thought was bad that I didn't cause on myself. Like I've done some bad shit and I've gotten consequences.
Yeah.
There's that, but there's other things where you feel like, why is this happening to me? And it's just a completely fucked up situation. And you feel like, you know, you didn't deserve it. But then later you look back on it, you're like, oh, that's
I learned
why
a lot
that
of
happened.
shit.
Yeah. And
Marshall's probably the only one at this table that can say he has not been in significant trouble.
I mean, I'm not gonna say nothing
exactly.
on that comment.
He can't
but
comment on that.
I will say this:
Legal trouble.
I think what helped me the most was having kids at such a young age, because I forfeited a lot of my partying days, because I had kids before I was even old enough to drink and go out and enjoy it. Like, so for me, it was all about just going out there, having kids, and being responsible. That meant finding a good, reliable job and grinding it out. There was no party life. There was no enjoying, you know, anything outside of that normal 9 to 5.
Yeah, and I feel you on that, man. I actually cried when I heard that you had got somebody pregnant. Well, you got your girlfriend pregnant.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. I was like, damn, my cousin's about to have a baby.
It was
Because
life-changing.
we grew up too, like, so close together, and that kind of was.
And now
like,
we all have kids. Now we look at it and see it. We all have kids now.
I have one, but I don't know. There might be more out there.
Those partying days. See, I missed all that.
Yeah, and you know, I wish I would have had a kid younger too, because yeah, I've been through a lot of stuff too that I had to overcome financially. That took me about 5 to 6 years without a license getting that stuff done, but I got through it. And like Joe said, it's a learning experience. Everything is. You got to take it like that. And I have a friend I'm talking to right now, and she's going through a real hard time, and she's just like, I don't think it will ever end. I said, when it does end, it's a learning experience, and you have your daughter out of the whole situation. So
Yeah.
that's just like the same stuff I was going through. But yeah, that's how I feel about everything in life too, now that I've got the mindset to do it with these books I've been reading. But yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah. Kids changed everything.
Everything.
I was watching your Snapchats today with your daughter getting down in the
Yeah,
back
she's
seat, working
getting
them
it.
shoulders,
Working
you
them,
know?
yeah.
How's your daughter now, Joe?
She's 4.
Oh,
4 and a half, almost in a half.
When's her
Month or
birthday?
2. October 28th.
Oh, my daughter would be 5 this year too.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're the same age.
Shoot, I'm in the teenage years now, boys.
And how old were you when you had Trin?
20? What was it, 05?
So yeah, still couldn't drink.
Yeah,
Huh? Damn. Yeah.
I was working at Discount Tire changing tires, and then I got laid
Oh,
off.
shit. It was you, Teddy Dewar, wasn't it? A bunch of you at the same shop, or were you not?
Yeah,
were you-
we all worked at the Discount Tire up there off Woodman.
And
Teddy was a crazy son of a
Matt,
bitch.
And then Joe was the first one to get in on it, T-Mobile. And then I jumped on, and then his brother jumped on, and we had Jay up there too. We was all hanging out at T-Mobile's call center.
We all did everything.
Yeah.
We all did everything together at that time, around that time.
We rented a house together before I had Trin, and like right out of high school. I think Joe was still in high school, and we was throwing parties like every
was.
single night.
I went to one of your guys' parties, and I think me and Jay Matthews.
I threw
almost
your
got
ass
into it.
out because you were fucking drunk, and I was trying to
'cause
sleep. I had to work
because
the
me
next
and
day.
Jay were going at it. That was just back because we were both
Someone was.
drunk. But no, I went to one of those parties, and I just heard that somebody got their. I'm not gonna say who, but somebody got their head smashed in the wall, and I don't know who it was. But yeah, I just didn't want to go over there after that.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. What did you guys call it? The Beta House? or
Beta
something?
House, because that
Beta
was right
House,
when
yeah.
American Pie Beta House came on. We wanted to be just like them. So we went all out and got ourselves our own little beta house up in Stetson Hills. Super nice neighborhood, by the way.
That was in
like,
almost sundown. I'm trying to think of what
Yeah.
they call that area. I think it's Wagon Trails. I
Man.
can't remember what they call it.
Yeah.
So
We had something similar. Like it was me, Bo Reeves, Andrew Ward, Eddie. Like literally, we had something similar. Like when Bo's parents got divorced, his dad like stayed at the old house, and his dad worked overnight all the time, so he'd be passed out. And literally, we every time we had parties, cops would come. And you remember Leroy from the block, from our
Yeah,
block?
yeah.
Yeah, Leroy. He hit me up and said, "Can I come over?" And you know how Bo and them are kind of like jocks, you know. They haven't seen like some like real hood cats come up, and some hood cats come up, and Bo starts like freaking out, like, 'cause there's like a good 40 of them like parked up, and they come up to the door, and Bo starts arguing with Leroy, and I was like, "Bro, you better just let them in, bro. There's gonna be trouble." And he ended up doing it, but yeah, it was crazy. Those nights we literally would just have probably like 50 peoples in his house, but yeah,
See,
that's
I
definitely
broke
different.
off and went on my own right before things really got crazy.
What do you mean by crazy? What went
Because
down?
his brother and everyone, they flew out to Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
left him and I this big giant house to ourselves, and I just had a baby. I just had Trin, and so we ended up. They moved back. I ended up moving in with my mom again, and then they ended up finding their own pad for a little while. That was the ultimate beta house, by the way.
That's
Is that
what we
when-
went. What's the? I wonder what the statute of limitations is
Oh
on.
man, I have no idea.
Oh,
but
bro,
pretty
it's gone
bad.
by now.
I don't
Yeah.
know how long ago was that. It's got to be more. I'm gonna Google it. I know there's no phone rule, but I gotta Google this real quick. 'Cause that'd be-
No, bro, me and Rob had a house like that too, and me and Rob were just, bro, we were just drinking one night, bro. We come home from the Rockies game, and his mom, she always had like, you know, she's a good looking mom. I will tell you that, but she always had these boyfriends that had money, and that's just who she's attracted to. We're attracted to people we are attracted to, but literally we would go to the Rockies games, whatever games we wanted to go to when they were at. They'd buy us drinks all night. One night we come home, and my dumbass, I forgot I had, because we only had one key, and it was not on a keychain like dumbasses. We come home, and literally I'm over there fighting with Rob. And Rob, how big do you think Rob is? About Marshall's height, right?
I think he's a little bigger than
Yeah,
me.
he's a big dude.
Who Rob Deal?
Or no, Rob Shriver. Big Rob.
Oh,
Fat
okay.
Rob.
Yeah.
So literally, dude, like when we got home, he's over, you have the key, and he began super pissed. And so I'm like, bro, I don't have the key. So he pushes me against the door right across from our neighbors. We go in, and Rob tested my gangsta. I'm just kidding, but I was about to get my ass beat, so I broke a beer bottle on the table and went to put it to his throat. He's like, okay, I respect you. And then he just popped me right in my shoulder. I was like, all right, I respect you too, bro.
Yeah, I missed all those party days, and I missed like the real good beta days. But
Man, yeah.
I did get a jump start on a lot of things because I had to mellow out so much and provide. Like
You got a jump start
I
on
got a
life.
good jump
yeah.
start.
Marshall, you started smoking weed at a young age, huh?
Yeah, I mean that's it is what it is.
It's kind of funny though the things work out. And just real quick to briefly touch on this, but like you and Eric were like best friends, and now like me and Eric are like that's probably one of my closest friends. I keep
Yeah.
in touch with him. He's always
we
asking.
grew up
about you guys.
together.
Yeah.
I mean, right, damn near 4 houses down,
Yeah.
and then Joe and Tom were right around the block on the other side of the
Can't
school.
forget Mike though too. Mike was
Yeah.
my homie. That's the main one I hung out with, and I would always be looking over your guys' fence when you guys were riding dirt bikes and stuff. I was so envious of that shit.
Yeah, the dirt bikes were fun.
used
We
to
had
be
the
whipping
big
them
old
dirt
field.
bikes.
Like we
Yeah.
talked about last time, me and Marshall, our dirt bikes were big wheels going down the cul-de-sac right in front of my grandma's, bro.
So yeah, I mean, tell us more about your real estate stuff. I mean, I'm most excited to hear about that because
Yep.
that's what I. So I bought my house before you became a real estate agent, or you were going through real estate agent school, I
think-
believe.
When did you buy this?
I think I'm like 4 or 5 years in.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just probably.
Because I used someone that my dad referred to me because I don't think you had your license.
Yeah,
yet.
I don't think I had even started. Because if I would have, I would have been like, "Hey, wait for me. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me."
yeah. Because we were still at the call center together.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just jumped in it because of other life, things that happen in life. But funny enough, I wouldn't take it back. It's just
Yeah.
funny how life steers you in certain directions. And
What do you like most about the real estate stuff?
I like everything about it, man. There's just no 2 days are the same. It's unlike any job you could ever have. It's not only owning your own business. It's like you own your own business and you do a ton of different. I can't really put it into words. It's basically like owning your own corporation. It's like
because there's so many little facets apart.
Yeah, and it's like it's so much bigger than just like a small business. Even though people call it a small business, and you can define it as a small business, but you have to wear the hat of the CEO, the CFO, the COO, the director of marketing, the
Start building a team.
the sales rep, you customer service, personal relation. You wear all of these different hats all at the same time every single day.
HR manager.
HR, I mean, to an extent, you
gotta show up and relate.
Can't
with
mix business with pleasure.
I mean, to an extent, you know what I'm saying?
One thing I did respect about you, Joe, and well, there's two things. Well, that last house that you did and you're putting on Facebook and stuff, like, you don't have to do the things you do with like this, just the grunt work of the stuff. Like, what did you do in that house? Like with not remodeling it, but just replacing fixtures. What else did you do with that house? The last one that you had on Facebook.
It was painted the entire all the walls, painted all the trim. All the trim was brown before, so painted all the trim white. Painted all the doors white because all the doors, closets, everything were brown. So I painted all that white. Painted all the walls. Put new flooring in the lower bathroom and upper bathroom. Put new lighting fixtures throughout the entire house. There's actually only one lighting fixture that didn't get changed out, and I just saw that today.
Which one was it?
The one above the kitchen sink.
Oh,
which, I mean, it
okay.
doesn't look dated, so it wasn't a big deal. But I called in a tile guy to tile the shower in the master bathroom.
Redid the carpet.
I called carpet dudes in. I pulled all the carpet out of the house. Called in carpet dudes to actually lay the carpet.
Hung a few doors, brand new doors.
Hung 2 brand new doors.
All on your own, other than the stuff that
Yeah, I had a hand. Marshall
I
helped me out with
jumped
some
in
of
and
it.
came
Yeah,
and
toward the
helped
end,
out.
he came and helped me out with some of it. But I mean, generally speaking, I just do that. To me, if I don't have anything better to do, if as long as it doesn't adversely affect me, my friends, family, or money, like, I don't care, So I don't mind doing that. Like, if I'm just gonna be at home, on the internet or playing games, or why wouldn't I go just do something to help other people? I mean, and it comes back on the back end. It's ultimately I either get a contractor in there, which who knows how long they're gonna take, and I don't like me or my clients' futures being held in a random third party's hands. Yeah, so there's that. So I just do it because I'm actually pretty decent at what I do, and I've taken a lot of time to kind of learn how all this different stuff works. So I'm pretty good at what I do, and it's easy for me to time it. So I could have finished that probably 2 or 3 weeks earlier, but the seller was like, hey, take your time, keep your sanity. You're doing this as a favor to us, take your time, whatever, enjoy your holidays. I mean, I started I think November is when I started on that house and finished in January, but it's because I'm still a realtor, I'm still a dad, I'm still a friend, I'm still, all these things. So it took me a few weeks, but in the grand scheme of things, considering what I did and the amount of work, I put it in all in a spreadsheet for him, but it's 40 different things I did to the house roughly if you were to break them all down.
But two things come out of that though. Like, obviously in the back end, it's gonna probably financially help you, but at the other side of the spectrum, your clients are definitely gonna refer other people to you 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know a lot of real estate agents that are out there doing those things.
Exactly, and that's why I brought it up.
None of them do. I mean, I don't know. I know of one that comes top of mind that does similar stuff to that, but I can't really fault them. I mean, we are really busy, and it's kind of a blessing and a curse that I don't get my daughter as often as I'd like to have her. It allows me to work a lot more and be busier, because some people just literally don't have the time. Like, I was out at a meeting until 6 o'clock tonight, whatever time, I went straight from there to here. So, and for people that have a family or have a wife to go home to,
that's a little bit more difficult.
I wouldn't be able to. I mean, I'm sure I could have still done that and snuck away and maybe done 2 and 3 hours here and there, but it's just not everyone's in the position to do it. So I understand why realtors don't do it, and I probably won't be able to do it forever. But my goal is to be able to just start a whole different business on that and hire somebody to just run it. And I mean, it's just funny because nobody wants to make money out here.
Well, it's crazy though. You have close friends that know how to do that, and you took it upon yourself to get it done, and that's just crazy that we have friends that we can't call but know how to do the jobs. But you know what I mean. But like you
Is
were
that
saying,
shade? Or are you saying?
Yeah, that's what it sounds
are you
like.
throwing
I'm not throwing shade at nobody.
It sounds a little shady.
I'm not throwing. Who would I throw shade at? I'm not throwing shade at nobody. But
What are you saying? What are you alluding to?
I think for me, I got a lot of close friends. If I call upon, they're here in a heartbeat. There's no questions asked. Now that circle is not very big. I will be honest with that, but there's a few phone numbers I got. No matter what time you call that number, it's happening.
I just feel like you got to be careful with when you call that number, because
Yeah.
everyone has those people, but you can't take advantage of anyone, And so when I take on a task like that, especially if I'm not getting paid for it, I'm not gonna. There's two things. There's me not getting paid, but then there's me calling you for you to not get paid.
Yeah.
And
That's a
yeah,
completely
if
different
time
thing.
is. If it's that serious, then I'll call you and say, hey, I'm not getting paid, but I really need your help, whatever. And then I call those people on. But for the most part, I don't reach out to friends for two reasons. One, ones that are gonna do the quality of work that I need done. B, and it's a few people. I've brought in numerous people in for different jobs, and they're like, oh, I can help. Oh, I can do this. I can paint. I can do this. And it's.
half-ass work.
And it's not that they're purposely half-assing it. It's just like if you don't know how to paint
It's
a
a free
wall, you don't know
job.
how to paint a wall. Yeah, and it's free
get what you
labor,
pay
so it's
for.
like I can't sit here and be mad that you didn't do good work. I mean, I could, but I would just rather do it myself because I know it's going to get done correctly. It's going to get done in
To
a
your
time that I can-
liking.
to my liking.
Yeah.
And ultimately, when I really need someone, then I can call them, and I'm not abusing that because there's a fine line. I feel like there's there. If I was paying them, then I'd call them and be
There's
like,
an
"Yo, come do
abuse
this," because
thing,
it's money to be made. Come get it. But if I don't know that there's money to be made, then I'm not gonna. Again, that would be counterproductive for me to give free labor to one person and then pay someone because then I'm losing time and money, and that's when I draw the line.
Yeah, and switch gears real quick. Like one thing that kind of really got me into the logistics of contracts. We were talking about this at Overdrive when we all went that night about how when let's say a client requests a dishwasher, you told me straight up there's some realtors out there that will just throw in an old dishwasher and leave it at that. Elaborate on that.
I mean, it's just
A
that.
contract's a contract.
Contract's a
if it's not
contract.
clarified, then
So for
you
you
put in
home
there to
buyers,
fit the clarification.
if your home buyers are buying stuff out there, you want a dishwasher, you better tell them you want the top of the line Samsung.
Or you just get an experienced real estate
You just
agent
get
that's
an
been
agent.
through
Just
it
call
and
Joe.
understands
Just
the
call Joe.
The
contract.
problem is it's free representation. You
Yeah.
don't get that in any other industry that I can think of off the top of my head where you pay nothing at all. Why wouldn't you? It's like, if you go to court, getting an actual paid attorney for free. It's not
Yeah.
like we're not working for free, so we're not somebody that we're not court appointed. We're not appointed by the seller or the other agent, and we don't do. Our job is to get you the best possible outcome possible. So why wouldn't you want somebody that's on your side that can explain the process? And I mean, granted, not all agents are the brightest crayons in the box. I'll be the first one to say.
Do you
that, but
prefer selling or buying?
both? They both have their pros and cons. And you can ask any agent, and that's, I mean, real estate's just such an, I don't know. I like it because there's so many different. It's so vast. The people that are agents are so vast, and there's such a big difference that separates a lot of agents. So most agents would say, oh, listings, because you stick your sign in your yard, you put it up for sale, and you're done. On to the next one.
Yeah.
But I actually like buyers because that's where you feel that emotional reward
You
of
can
what you've
build
done.
that
Yeah.
relationship a little bit more.
Yeah, and I mean, there comes a point where you start to question what you're doing. Like these other buyers, I just closed on their house not too long ago. I showed them over 100 houses, genuine over 100 houses.
Yeah.
And when you break down, even at 30 minutes per house, which it's way more than that. I spent 50 hours with these clients. So, people look at that, and that's just showing homes. That's
Yeah.
not the phone conversations. And there's no way it takes 30 minutes per house. I mean, when you factor in drive time,
Yeah.
gas, maintenance, all of these different things, I literally made, you know, probably minimum wage roughly on that deal if you were to, you know, go just by dollar signs. And I know some people that say, you know, oh, after a certain number of houses it's $50 a house, and you know, after you know, if you don't, you know, we've seen 10 houses, if you don't pick, you know, one, if you don't have a top 3 by now, you know, you got to work with someone else. And it's just, you know, there's different people, different strokes for different folks. But I like it because
I like that.
It's that's the rewarding side. But there's rewards.
How much
on both
have you
sides.
learned about home ownership and just houses in general
A lot.
in this business?
A lot. I take every opportunity to learn possible from everyone. You know,
And you have a
there's-
great team
yeah.
around you, it sounds like. I saw on Facebook, was it a couple months back, one of your bosses giving you a huge shout out on Facebook.
Huge shout out.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, shout out
Yeah,
Jeff.
yeah.
Yeah, our team is awesome. They have a culture that's, you know, unlike any other team that at least I've worked on in real estate. Real estate's just one of those things where, you know, people start to see dollar signs and people get very cutthroat and get very, it's, you know, it's competitive in its own way. So it can be real nasty, and the people can be real nasty. And our team is made up of some awesome people that, you know, they basically treat you like family. I mean, we really are kind of like one big family, you know.
Yeah.
Not everyone sees eye to eye at any time, and everyone can have that open and honest conversation and say, hey, this is, you know, what I think about you, or this is what I think about what you did, or, you know, if someone needs help, you know, hey, can you help me? And nothing is expected in return. So the team is cool.
How much are you seeing Colorado Springs change being so involved with real estate? Because it's erupted over the last 10 years.
Is that eruption like, is it slowing down or is it still going?
It's kind of hard to say. In August of last year, we had a slowdown we haven't had since I've even been in real estate. And it's starting to pick back up now, but it's a little bit early. The pickup just started probably, I would say, in maybe December, but really it's January. I mean, you wouldn't expect it to pick up in December anyway due to the holidays. But August slowing down was just kind of a real shock for a lot of people, because that's not when the market typically slows down. So August slowed down, and then now it's faster than it was, in August and September. So it's just a real weird timing of things, considering this is usually the slow season, which is still slow in the grand scheme of things, but now it feels like it felt, last year around this time, roughly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to slow down. I think that and I don't remember who it was, whoever's in charge of the rates that Trump ended up firing because he raised the rates like 4 or 5 times, or maybe even 6. He raised the rates like at least 4 times last year. And it literally went from, people seeing 3 point something interest rates up to 5, just 5.
5,
You're going to be 5.
And that's a lot of money. We're talking houses.
Yeah, I mean, to put it in the grand scheme of things, and I could be wrong, don't quote me, but it's something along the lines of, for every 0.25% in interest rate, you lose roughly, it's either $10,000 or $20,000 worth of purchase power at the same monthly payment.
Wow.
So if you're paying, if you go up a full point, you're losing, 40 to, and again, I could be wrong, but I know it's at least 40, but you're losing $40,000 worth of purchase power. So the interest rate going up a full percent last year took somebody that could buy a $300,000 house down to $250.
Yeah.
$240.
And that's a big
$260.
difference in housing.
It's huge, and somebody that could get an average home for $240 or $260 now is down to $220, and you can't get a single family.
Bro, can
for
you
that,
find
so.
houses as low as what I have right now?
Oh no,
Because
way.
mine, I
Not
bought
even.
mine 4 or 5 years ago for like 150,
In Pueblo?
147.
Yeah, in Pueblo.
Yeah,
Yeah, in Pueblo.
isn't
and-
that crazy?
Yeah, Aunt Betty, right? She wanted to move from Denver, and like literally she wanted to buy a house. She wanted to pay cash, and she looked at houses here, and she's like, I'm going to Pueblo West, and she even found her a nice little house out there. But
I want to get a ranch.
I've been talking, bro.
ready for a ranch.
After you said that, I've been thinking about that too. Just to
Like
have
an
your
actual
own land.
ranch with livestock ranch, or like a ranch style.
Marshall,
I'll have some animals. I don't know if I'll have cows.
You just want to
I
have
may work-
acreage, like just
yeah,
actual
yeah.
land.
Well, I want some pigs, some chicken. I wouldn't mind having maybe a couple horses. That'd be pretty cool.
What about goats? Like your mom.
goats?
and
Are
dad had?
so tight. I
The
love
Next door
having
neighbor
goats.
has goats.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
little,
goats
bro,
are
those
fun.
ones that your dad and mom had out there at that house.
Yeah,
That little, the male
they like to
one was a
jump on
be-
everything.
That male one was a beast. He was always trying to hit me in my nuts, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
he'll jump up on you quick.
yeah.
But we had chickens and all that. And shoot,
mean,
I
you
was
can do
doing the
that out
math.
here, bro.
Yeah,
Especially out here, you're in the county. You can.
yeah,
Everything short of a horse, you can do out here.
yeah.
So, Joe, what do you see, like, having these older houses out here, like, is it harder to sell older houses because all the like stuff you have to do to, get it to where it needs to be, or or is it same thing buying like a newer house compared to this one?
Everyone has their preference. That's
Yeah.
like saying, is it hard to buy an older car?
Yeah.
So it's just about how much money they want to spend and how much money they want to put into it.
I mean, it's I would run with the car analogy all day long. Every car has its pros and cons. Do you want to buy a it's not so bad buying like a 1990 Honda Civic, but you buy a 1995 Bentley and you're going to be in trouble. It's like it just depends what you want to take on. You can get an amazing huge house from the 1960s, or you can get something a lot smaller that's much newer. And everyone has their own taste. Some people want a fixer upper. Some people want something that they can
We got some interaction with chat going on.
Some people want things they can work on and fix up to get equity, and it just depends. Some people buy houses to live in them. Some people buy houses to sell them. Some people buy them to rent them out. Some people buy them, so it just depends what people are buying for. So there's really not a right.
So
or
what do
wrong
you
with
call like in my head, I think a fleet of houses. Someone that owns multiple houses. What's the terminology? Is that a fleet of houses? I know that's for cars. Like you have a fleet of vehicles. Because I'm trying to have multiple houses. I'm trying to rent some out.
You just have multiple properties,
Yeah.
or you have a lot of property.
You're a property owner.
You just have
multiple
But
property
typically we
owner.
just say he has hundreds of properties,
That'd
or
be
you have
sick.
thousands of properties, or
Yeah.
there's not really. I mean, if you're major, they'll call you like a real estate tycoon. But that's if
Okay.
you're like the shit.
Yeah.
But,
Once you get to a certain level financially, have you ever thought about like buying and flipping homes?
Yeah, I mean, bro, the contractors out here are so shoddy. Like, if I like real estate because of what it is nice. Not like every time I have one of these breaks between working on these houses like I do, it's nice,
You get
and
that-
I couldn't
that time to put
do
into
that
other
for my
things.
living. Yeah, and it's, to flip a house, it really has to be the right property to do that. If you are gonna hire someone to flip it, you need to buy it at a much lower price point, because those people that flip it are gonna want $20,000-$30,000 for their actual labor in doing what they're doing on top of materials, whatever. So, will I one day? Sure, because it's stupid not to. Anybody that has the means to purchase properties should be buying properties, and should be buying as many of them as they possibly can, from all aspects. Whether you buy it and hold it and rent it, whether you buy it, fix it and flip it, whether you just buy it to live in it, whether you're gonna just buy some and you don't even know what to do with it, like land or something like that. There's just times where if you have the means, you should absolutely buy a property and figure out what you're going to do with it later. I mean, there's some where, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying every single property is that way, but for the most part, like, yeah, eventually I'll do it because it's an easy check. It's, there's wholesale. There's people literally their whole job is to go buy a property that's in bad shape, that has, let's say, $100,000 of equity, and then they sell it to an investor and they take $20,000 and there's still $80,000 of equity. That person, even the second person to buy it, then fixes and flips it and makes him $20,000. So the first person literally just found it, sold it to the next person for, $20,000 profit. He actually puts in the work, he makes $20,000 profit, and then the homeowner actually buys it to live in it. But there's a lot of money to be had
Or
in
you
a
could
lot of
just be
different
like me and find that cheap house, buy it, fix it.
That's
live
what I was
in
about
it,
to ask
all
you.
that.
Living it, yeah. It just depends on your living
I've just been
situation.
sitting on it.
I was
I
just-
don't need more space than I got. I think this space that we're working with now is perfect.
But you need more money than you got.
But,
I mean,
yeah.
you don't need, but you can never have
I was
too
gonna ask
much.
you, Marshall,
Not too
like,
much.
from what you bought it at to now, all the stuff you've done, you think how much money you think
He's
if
got
you were to sell it?
$100K sitting in this.
Yeah, I probably got 100K sitting here.
And that's in what, 4 years, right? 5
Yeah,
years, 4 years,
yeah.
5 years. That's what I'm saying. The
Yeah.
money is stupid. Like, it's even if in his situation, and that's why I've been telling him this for 2 years now.
He
Just-
has
I
been
Sell
telling
it.
me.
I don't know. Yeah, because it's just there's money literally sitting, and it's not like you're losing it, and especially now the interest rates have dropped.
They have
to-
dropped again.
So now's the time. I
I
know.
my
Last
mortgage
time you
broker
waited
hits
and-
me up like every day because he's trying to get me to do
Bro,
something.
sell this, because the thing is that first time home buyer homes can only go up so high. I mean, to an extent, that statement, it doesn't always hold true, but it's gonna plateau a lot more than
I've hit pretty much
the
max
ceiling.
value.
Yeah, there's
I've hit
a
the
certain
ceiling.
ceiling that you'll hit at a certain point. So
Yeah.
you're kind of there, and so it's like, yeah, do you need more house? No, but $100,000 isn't gonna hurt anybody.
But if I use that 100 grand now, I'm afraid I'm gonna do stupid shit with it. That's been my biggest fear.
But
That's
you
why I
just
haven't
roll
pulled
it
the
into
trigger.
your next house. That's why you go buy another house and then
And
once
make
you're
another
under
100
contract
grand.
on that. Yeah, and that's why I tell people like that's how these people get these 5, 6, 7, 1 point whatever $1 million houses. You just buy and sell a few houses, and that's very normal. You know, that's what all these other people are doing. When you see these people with these nice huge ass houses, and you're wondering like, how do they, how's your mortgage $1,500 a month, but you have a $700,000 house? Oh, because I paid $250,000 cash as my down payment, and I only owe $200,000 on it. And then it becomes like this. Literally over the course of 10 years, you spend 4 years in your first house, and it's very normal. It happens all the time, but you spend 4 years in your first house, take that $100,000, and now this $150,000 house or this $250,000 house he has. He sells it, and then he goes and buys a $350,000 house, sells that, goes and buys a $450,000 house, sells that. Now he can get a $600,000 or $700,000 house, and as long as you play your cards right.
That's a big ass house, though. That's what I'm saying. That's
but that's a ranch.
The biggest house
I need like garage space.
That's a ranch.
I'm gonna
Exactly.
tell
You
you
can
right.
have you need real squad goals, bro. You need a hangar, bro, so you can
That
get a
would be
pilot's
sick.
license, get you a little
Yeah.
2-seater plane. I just think
I
life
wouldn't
is.
fly in a 2-seater plane.
It's just like as life goes on, you start to see there's like way bigger things than you would ever imagine, and you can't be reactive to the situation. Like people that have planes and boats and RVs and yachts and like generally speaking, they have a place to put them,
Yeah.
and they're in a position to buy those things, and 90% of those people, they do it because they have real estate. I mean, I can't imagine any of those kinds of people only have one house. Like 90% of people I talk to that have all kinds of like actually a lot of money, they have multiple properties, and whether they rent that second one out, whether it's just another house, a summer house or a winter house or whatever. I don't know. There's just a lot of money to be made, and it literally isn't. It's not because you need to move. It's because it's a want, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's you can literally pay the same amount for what you're paying now
for a bigger
more
house, space.
and the numbers don't change. Like 4% of appreciation, on 200,000 is going to be 8,000 a year. But on 300,000, it's going to be 12,000 a year. So over the course of 4 years, when you do the math, that's the 16,000 extra. You could buy an ATV just with the difference of your house. You could literally just buy an ATV from owning your house, and it's not. You don't need a bigger house, but it allows you to do other things with your money. So I don't know. And an ATV, don't get me wrong, that's a dumbass. I wouldn't say spend your money toward that, but it's just an example of how you can buy something nice.
I got into hunting this last year. I went for the first time. I mean, I wouldn't call it hunting
How
because we
was
didn't
that your
catch nothing.
experience?
It was fun. I mean, it was just sitting out in the cold ass weather with our guns, like sitting in the snow with
Did you
holding
guys see
guns.
anything?
We saw like a moose and some deer, but we were out there looking for elk. We didn't see.
You
no
guys didn't
elk.
buy tags for?
No. So I mean that was cool. So I mean I think about all these fun trips. Like an ATV would be pretty dope to go hunting.
So what, Marshall? I know at one point you were thinking about just selling the house, buying an RV, and just pursuing that golfing career.
Yeah, we're not at the point to where Trin can be solely dependent on herself. I think having a kid and traveling like that makes it a lot more challenging.
So maybe when she gets older.
Yeah, maybe.
So
Yeah,
a couple
I got to
houses.
get better at golf. I mean, I like to say I'm pretty good, but there's some people out there that are way better than me, and so I obviously have to get better at golf too. But it's fun. Like it's definitely a dream of mine. I got a little map hanging over on the wall. Nobody else will be able to see it on stream, but it's a scratch off map. So each state that I golf in, I scratch off that state, and my goal is to go to all 50 states and play golf.
Does that beard affect your golf swing at all?
No, I haven't noticed it. I
Is
didn't
that
have
what
it this
those
long.
colors are?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's pretty
do they
cool.
Pop out or something?
Yeah,
or is it-
they're scratch off. So you scratch like a scratch ticket,
Oh, okay.
and then those are the 4 states I've played in so
Oh,
far.
there you go.
Yeah,
you got a lot of
so
work to do.
I do have a lot of work to do. But
See?
again, I haven't done a lot of traveling or nothing like that yet because I'm just kind of sitting on everything,
'Cause You
waiting.
haven't sold the house.
I'm waiting.
You sell the house, buy an RV, take 50,000, buy an RV with it, or at least maybe down payment on it or whatever, the other 50,000, dump it into
RVs are expensive.
your new house. I mean, maybe like a baller one, but
Yeah.
just a little. something to
Marshall
start
doesn't
out.
do it in a small scale.
I try not to. When I like something, I want to go all out on it. I don't want
Just
to
go all out and sell your house, then, man. That's going all out.
But I feel like I'm closer to just renting it out and making money off it. I feel like my return on investment would be so much higher. I just have to do a better job of saving money to put down on a second house.
I just think I don't know. I just think it's Because renters are gonna tear it up, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is that like with renters, you got to be careful. I mean, I guess you could get, like a different insurance policy, but like you have one renter come in here and smoke meth like one time, two times, bro,
screwed.
$30,000, $40,000 to fix
Yeah.
that. You know, like, and that's just one time, and there's nothing you can do because obviously if they're meth heads, you're not gonna sue them, or even if you do, you're not gonna get your money.
What am I gonna get
So
from
yeah,
them?
so
And
it's
in very rare cases, though, like I'll tell you, my mom and dad, they're good renters. Like my dad's put a deck out there.
Gee, they've
He's-
lived there for a long
yeah,
time.
like they literally have built stuff for them and good renters. But like you said, a lot of renters do screw up houses like crazy.
We were one of them, so I know.
exactly. Like I've been one in
Yeah.
multiple situations, you know. So it's, I mean, and that's just a learning curve. And I guess if you vet your buyers or your tenants and all that, but it's just, there's
It's
certain
really risky.
properties. Yeah, it's just risky, and there's certain properties that it's definitely worth doing, and you know, it just depends on your strategy, I guess. But as long as you need a place to live, I mean, you know, you can count that as income, but to me, it would be smarter to take your proceeds
And
from this, upgrade, and then you could, you know, probably even buy a whole separate property to rent out later, you know, and whether it's a townhome, whether it's, you know, because you can almost damn near get the same for a townhome as you can a house.
Yeah.
You know, as far as rent goes. And so I don't know. There's different strategies for different things, but you know, to go buy another house, you would need, you know, a lease on this one, and then you wouldn't have any money to actually put down on that new
Yeah.
house. So your financing situation wouldn't be as advantageous, and you know, it would just, there's a lot of factors in it. So
What's the most expensive house you sold so far, Joe?
not as much as I've wanted, bro. It's like a six and some change, I think. Six something. Where's it? 580. I think it's 580. It was six, and then they bought it for 580.
What part of town?
Black Forest.
Black Forest?
Yeah.
There's some incredible houses out there.
I've seen a lot. I've like looked at a lot. I've shopped a lot with buyers. It's just when you get up into the higher price ranges, you know, price 700 plus, people are just very picky. But not only that, there's not like track built homes for 700,000. So it's
Yeah.
like all
Everything's
these homes are
custom.
custom homes. They're all custom, and so you have to find somebody that has the same taste as you, the same likes as you, the same, you know, they have to really just kind of understand what you were going for when building the house.
And you have to know what you're getting into when you're getting into custom home building, because you're investing time and money into someone to do it in a certain amount of time. If they don't complete that, then what? Like,
And then it gets ugly.
yeah, it gets real ugly.
So yeah.
Other than the real estate, let's bring up a subject, Marshall. What do you want to talk about?
So I just want to talk about, because I got a racing simulator in here, right? It's pretty cool. But how many times have I whooped your all's ass at Overdrive?
I was pretty damn close to you. Me and Joe were like 4 beers. I was 4 beers down. Joe was how many LA Waters?
5 LA Waters had to
Yeah.
be.
Bro, I think you just got out.
I
just
still
got off-
won. I still won though. I think I've lost him like once, twice.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get you on the simulator over here at some point and see how you do. Chris was on it earlier today.
Oh,
it
bro,
was
that
on.
put
thing
me on
is-
that simulator way back. It's you put me
Yeah,
on it when Chad
when
was
I
over
first got
here.
it.
That shit
Yeah.
was,
Bro,
those
it's
dirt tracks,
crazy.
bro, are
Their dirt
garbage.
trucks are fun.
It's a simulator for a reason. I need the real thing.
Dude, I was
Put me
like,
behind the real wheel.
Yeah.
dude, I was like, yeah, I'll be able to do it. And then I got on there. I was like, I'll be here all night trying to, because I'll get it like 100%. Like, I got to get this figured out. But the cool thing about Overdrive, I was telling Marshall today, I listened to 1300 Sports Radio AM, and like Ryan Kaufman, shout out to him, but he's the host on there, and they're doing rockers against jocks. So basically, I got selected to go ahead and be on the team, so I got to go race for free Friday night. Like, it's gonna be crazy. Like, and it's competition.
We
so
did the.
Are you a
tournament
rocker
thing.
or a jock?
bro, I'm a jock, dog. Yeah, and I still try to do my things. I think one of my goals next year, I really been telling myself, and I don't say just do, and 100%, Marshall's going to keep me accountable, or else he's going to be coming on one of these. But I want to wrestle in the Rocky Mountain State Games. We won the Rocky Mountain State title for flag football next year, but I actually want to wrestle, and because anybody can wrestle in a weight class. There's an age limit, but, you know, I'll be right there, but I gotta lose weight, because if I go right now, I'm 160. I'll be racing some big ass dudes.
Get worked.
Some big ass dudes. I wouldn't get work necessarily, because I'm gonna be wrestling taller dudes, but I just wouldn't be able to. If I got somebody started like like getting on top of me and trying to wrestle me from there. Like you wear people out like that. Like literally, like it's crazy. I don't know if you guys seen that Khabib fight, but McGregor's a punk, and he got punked out that night. I don't know who you guys like there.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch a lot of like UFC and stuff like that growing up. I don't really keep up with it as much anymore.
Joe, you?
Yeah, I don't. Not really. I watch
Football, anything? Either one of you guys?
I'm too busy.
Yeah,
I literally
cancel
don't
my
even watch
cable and
TV, bro.
stuff.
Yeah, like I sold you my TV. I don't know where
Yeah,
it's at, but I
it's in
sold
that
him.
other room.
I sold him my TV.
I started. I got rid of my PlayStation, so I got rid of that. I'm just not a gaming guy. Like the only time I turn it on is if somebody was wanting to play Madden, but I got over that. So my next thing is like getting rid of this big ass TV in my room and just buy books.
I'm just in it for the knowledge now. You know, like I literally don't want to be involved in anything if it's not. I mean, genuine fun with friends and stuff like that. That is my entertainment. That's the only entertainment. And I guess like World Star Internet shit's cool because it's still informative. I don't care what anyone says. I get my news off World Star. Like they have
World Star, bro.
They have some good shit there. Like
World
don't
Star.
get it. If nothing else, it's at least a good intro into something, and it sends
It's
me
so
off into a Google
entertaining.
search somewhere else. But it's just the power of the internet. Like you literally can know anything that you want to know, and I just feel like it's so underused these days. Like people are fucking idiots for no reason, and you have there's no excuse. There's no excuse for ignorance in any of these 20,
Last 10,
11,
15
12,
years.
13, 14. If you don't know how to do something, that's your own fault. And that's, like he, crafting up a whole podcast, in a podcast room and, me working on these houses. And yeah, there's some things it's nice to have somebody behind you that can actually show you. And yeah, having all the
saves time.
information at your fingertips doesn't help if you don't know what to look for. But I just think that, I find much more entertainment in researching things, and I go on these fucking like Wikipedia binges.
I was gonna say, so for me, I get stuck in YouTube. I'll get lost in YouTube all the time.
I did for a while, but like literally right now, like just saying the world's at your fingertips. I actually am part of this advocacy program real quick. But the thing what we did is we had a task at hand to create jobs, right? And so we met with the Mayor Southers, City Council, everything like that. And literally what we came up with is we're building a hub to where people that don't have an education maybe or having a hard time looking for a job, we're building a website. Hopefully that's what we're looking for, and a hub where they can just click to find help. There's so many nonprofit organizations, but like you said, Joe, it's at our fingertips. And I had no knowledge about like how all this stuff worked. And like literally there's so much out there to learn about everything.
I don't know. There's a reason that there's certain ethnicities that I like to say that you don't see standing on a corner. Like you don't see Asians standing on a corner. You don't see Mexicans standing on a corner. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, but it's just one of those things where I feel like it's the people. They make choices not to do things and not to know things and not to
There's
want
some
to know
traditional
things.
standards built up.
Yeah, and there's just certain, at some point, and I mean, I don't want to sound bad for saying this, but you have to let natural selection do what it's going to do for some people. You can't help people that don't want to help themselves. I believe in thoroughly helping anyone that wants to do better, that wants to learn, that wants to, work. But, there's these people that, literally, you see a homeless person, you try to give them food and they throw it and say, I want money,
Yeah, bro.
I want alcohol, or I want this, or I want, those kind of people, like, we just need to let them do what they're going to do, and just let the Darwin's theory kick in, but it's, for anyone that needs help and, all that, then yeah, we need to just literally, I think it's just comes down to fundamentals, and I don't necessarily blame them. I think it's I don't know. People are just entitled. I just think that people, the same people that watch Game of Thrones and watch every single, episode of every single season, and, they binge watch every episode, and, the people that are on Facebook, like, I just finished, I finished Game of Thrones and Walking Dead and Shameless and this and this. What should I watch next? I'm like, bro, you should watch fucking Google next.
Bro, I'm telling you right now,
Fuck.
that's one thing I never could get into. Like, the only thing is when I'm watching TV is when I go to bed, I wake up maybe like for an hour maybe at most just to wake up, and then there's no TV for the rest of the day until I get home because there's no learning aspect from it. There are some channels you can learn some stuff, mostly conspiracy theories when I'm watching Ancient Aliens and shit. But yeah, man, it's TV's just it's going out of the window for me ASAP because it's just slowly fading out of my life.
It faded out of mine, man. Back when, I sold you my TV. And
Yeah.
it was just, I mean, I think it was a combination of me just being too busy for TV.
Because
and
you were fully vested in the real estate game at that
completely,
time.
yeah.
Like,
and I
nothing
still
else
kind of am.
made-
You know, I just at the time I didn't know how to manage my time well, so it was
Yeah.
just like I was pussyfooting around, getting from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and then it took me 12 hours to do something that takes really 8 or what have you, but. That just like Gary Vee and all these other people say, like you should be working 18 hours a day, and sleeping the other 6.
Yeah.
And, I think there is, some time in there where, you can enjoy yourself and actually enjoy life. Don't get me wrong. But I'm also a huge fan of just, I watch TV only when I'm going to sleep. Like right before I go to sleep, when I wake up, I'm waking. And that's the thing is I don't even like sleep. So when I wake up because I'm getting my day started.
Are you a
not-
multiple snooze button person, Joe?
Yeah, man.
Are you?
It's bad.
I broke that
it's
mode.
bad.
I'll tell you right now.
Not
What's the
me.
secret? What's the secret to breaking it?
You
What's
just
the
have to
secret
get
not
up.
doing
You just
it?
have
You
to
just have
get
to
up,
get
man.
up.
I'm telling
What do you
you,
tell yourself to get up?
nothing, bro.
It's time
just,
to go.
bro.
It's time to go.
My body's waking up. Like literally, I'll start sending you guys both a message you want me to at 4. I wake up at 4 o'clock every morning, and I'm.
Are you still on that? I know. I saw you
100%
on
4
Facebook
o'clock,
today.
bro. Like my body's used to it now. Like it clicks without my alarms even going off.
Do you drink coffee in the morning when you get up?
Bro,
He's a big energy
I mean, I know-
drink
I
coffee
I know,
guy.
literally, I drink
Yeah,
coffee,
yeah.
but the greatest thing about me is my doctor, and I literally am so against like pharmaceuticals and stuff. But one thing I will say, Adderall wakes you up real quick. So I got an Adderall prescription, so I do take that. I am crazy, not focused if I'm not on it, but yeah, coffee and Adderall gets me up in the morning. But most of all, man, it's I don't remember who said it, but. They said like get up before your competition because you don't have phone calls coming in, you don't have text messages coming in. So when I get up, literally that maybe hour of TV and that other hour I have before I have to go to work, I get my room cleaned. I try to do laundry. I fell off of that for about a week, but I'm still waking up at 4. But for like the first 3 weeks, man, I was getting so much done in the morning, even homework. And it was just like, wow, this is getting done. So when I get off, I can focus on other things that I can work with because, bro, I can go off at 6 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep all day. No problem.
So what's the difference in doing that? And so I'm just the opposite. I mean, I'm not just the opposite, but I'm just on the other side of the scale. So what's the difference between people that wake up early versus people that stay up late? And it's
Yeah,
not
'cause
stay
I'm
up
a
and late
stay
and
up
party.
late
Don't, yeah,
guy.
that's what I am. I'm a stay up late.
After everyone goes to bed, like that's my time to put in the second grind and do some research and
I think it's circumstance because when I was in my last relationship, like, we are guys, girls, however they want to do it, you got to get your free time. And I felt like when my daughter and my ex would fall asleep, that was my free time to kind of lounge out, do what I want to do when I was playing games. And like you feel, that's your time to do things. And like now that I don't have that aspect, I have my daughter at night, so I feel like I can't utilize staying up all night because I already have my daughter. So when I get up in the morning, it's the same, I would guess, because you're getting stuff done at night if you're doing stuff at night. Because I know Marshall's playing games,
sometimes, not all
Yeah.
the time. I've been working.
and you've
I've
read
been
a
trying
lot
to
of
get
books.
this
That
going,
that
and
impressed
I do
me.
a lot of reading. Yep, I
That
read a
impressed me.
You
lot.
read all those?
Yep, and I got a bunch on my phone too. I've switched kind of to the phone thing, so I don't get a lot of hard copy books anymore. And then I got like 3 or 4 books in my truck. I got books all over the place. I just enjoy it.
Bro, that's what changed my mindset. Like literally, like Joe. If you haven't listened to the book, bro, that David Goggins book like changes your mind.
They're all. I think they all have their place. What I find for most people is that you just got to start with the basics. You know,
Yeah.
there's very basic things that everybody talks about, and it's. I mean, I've listened to my fair share of audiobooks, and don't get me wrong. As long as you take one behavior from each book and execute on it like to the T, and actually like force yourself to learn it, you've gotten something from it. But I feel like a lot of people, they read, just to say that they read a certain book, but they don't actually practice, the behaviors that the book was speaking about. Like I read, what is it, Rich Dad Poor Dad, the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, a few different books, and that 10X Rule though, that was a good one for me.
I-
But it's just, I don't know, people read to say that they read. I feel like a lot. And I'm not saying that this isn't you guys, but just people in general read a ton of books, but they don't even execute on the very basics. They say the same thing, and that's how I feel about most of these books. Like, granted, and that's why I say if you take one thing, if you take one thing away from it, then you're good. But generally speaking, there's only one thing I can take away from each different person, because they're all practicing the same behaviors,
idea,
and they just do it a
ways.
different way.
Yeah, and I know what you're saying, like just retaining the information. Because I'm telling you right now, like I got a lot out of David Goggins' book, like the accountability mirror, man. That's just been incredible for me. Just being able to stick like my daily tasks on that mirror, and if I don't get them done, like literally, like he tells you, just call, like you face the man in the mirror, and you're a bitch for not getting it done. If you're like literally, if I'm not working out, like
you gotta get into some of those storybooks too. Some of those storybooks are fun. Like,
how does that help you though? Like, I just don't know, like what, because I've read the Unfuck Yourself, excuse my language, but that's the name of the book.
I mean, I like a good, motivational book just to keep me in check, make sure that I'm, hungry and wanting to pursue bigger, better things. But I like storybooks too. Like, there's a book I got up there called Dark Matter. It talks about how it's a book about a guy that, there's multiple parallel universes, and he found a way to jump between different parallel universes and watch different scenarios, different outcomes, all of that, just because he found this pathway or this tunnel to these ultimate universes. And so, like, little things like that are fun. It expands your mind. It gets you thinking creatively about different things. I think creative thinking to me is the biggest part of reading a book, like, because everyone has a different perspective of the words on the page for the most part. Like,
and the way you
can paint your own picture when you're reading a book, where if you're watching a movie, that picture is already kind of painted for you, and that idea is already kind of put in your head. Where the book reading, it allows you to kind of expand on what you think happens and stuff like that. So for me, it's a little bit different.
The thing that pissed me off about society today is that, like, nobody's really receptive of new ideas. Like, they just don't like it. Like, just anything you want to talk about, like I talk about vibrations or auras all the time, and it's like nobody wants to accept it. Like, but these things are getting more scientific. They're getting put out there, and it's like when you read a book like that, like Joe Rogan, just listen to his podcast, like listen about parallel universes and shit. Like, it really makes me like open up my mind. Like that, it's legit shit.
What if it is real? Then what are you doing?
Bro, I really feel like we're living in the future, present, and past all at the same time. 100%. I really feel like that's it.
Yeah, so I think that'd be a fun book for you to read. It's called Dark Matter.
And maybe I need to try it, because I've never really read a book other than like.
I just feel like
Where the Red Fern Grows in high school. Everybody's read that book.
There's just a point where I think you can get overwhelmed with too many motivational books back to back. You got to mix it up and spread it around and do different things, because then you start kind of getting a clash of information and then doubting yourself or questioning whether I move forward or not. And it just kind of sits there. So I think you got to kind of mix it up a little bit. That's like watching TV shows for a lot of people, or movies. You don't all just watch straight comedies. Eventually, you're going to get tired of laughing and not want to laugh. So you got to mix it up with some action adventure, some horror, it's a variety.
That's so crazy that you talk about that, because I used to watch just like at night South Park, Dave Chappelle show in order, and then all of a sudden, like those last hour or two before I go to sleep, and then wake up to the same thing and just watch that. But now it's like I'm watching this TV channel called Reels, and all it talks about is like the mob bosses, like how they did what they did to retain like the money they did, what rules they were breaking. Like, there's some crazy shit out there with these Italian mobs, the Irish mob. It was crazy.
There's some good documentaries on YouTube. I've kind of caught in a few of those. Those are fun to watch.
That's why I like the internet, because I feel like it's all of that, and that's why I spend all my, I don't want to say all my time, but when my free time, like the time people would be either reading books or watching, because I just go on these like benders of the internet, and it's just like, you see some fictional stuff, but you also see the stuff where it's, could this be real? Could this not be real? It may or may not be. And then you also find truthful stuff. I get lost in these Wikipedia benders where I like, because it makes it easy. It just gives you a link, and it's like, oh, the U.S. just dropped the biggest bomb that they've ever had on Afghanistan, and I'm like, what's the name of that? And then I go Wikipedia, and it's like, oh, this bomb, and it does this by means of this. And I'm like, what is that? So I click on that, and I'm like, oh, so that's how nuclear fission works. Okay. Yeah. Now I close that one and go back and finish reading, and then it's another link, and I'm like, oh, what's that? And so I don't know. I'm not good with things that are fictional, and maybe I need to be, or maybe I just need to take up a different hobby.
I can't do fictional shit either.
Maybe music is what helps my creativity.
Yeah, you're
but
real big into music.
Yeah, like
Right.
Joe, like every
huge
time,
music. That's my life. That's
bro, like you
that's
you
my
listen to a
life.
lot of underground stuff. Keep it real with the old school stuff, like,
just listen to music.
Yeah.
Just music. Period. I mean,
and you fuck around with anything. I'm just gonna be real. I can't say it any other way. You fuck around with all music, huh? Other than country, probably, huh?
no, I mean, I listen to country, and I like will even like swear to God, people will hear me singing country, but it's not going to be my choice. Like I just enjoy music. Period.
Yeah, just
I do
music.
too.
I'm gonna put on. I mean, probably 364 days out of the year, I'm gonna put on some real trap shit, and then the other one day, split in half, would be maybe like some rock, like some Bullet.
Yeah.
Like dead by April, dead before April, whatever their name is, type rock, and then the other like half of that might be some R&B shit. But it just depends on my mood. I've realized
Yeah,
that music is
mood.
dictated a lot by my mood, and I listen to a lot more savage shit when I'm headed to the gym or in the gym. But then like when I'm like, I don't know, like wooing over a bitch and shit, over a girl and stuff. Like, I notice I listen to a lot more soft music and stuff. So it just kind of depends on
variety. Yeah.
my
And
mood. But.
the thing with me though, like lately, it's the stuff like just, and it's not even lately, but when I did first split up with my ex, it's like I was listening to music, like didn't know it was even depressing me even more, and then I was like, I have to switch this up. So, but Luke Combs made a song, When It Rains, It Pours, but he totally twists the song. And like I said, I love music. So this song just talks about like, when it rains, it pours. He just basically got rich right away. The girl come running back, but the song wouldn't tell you that right off the bat. But I'm telling you right now, music to me, I can listen to everything from, Hawthorne Heights to country to Five Finger Death Punch. But yeah, that's just me. I can listen to everything. But honestly, what it's been on my way to work and back and forth to work, I'm trying to get books done, but it's hard to, man. I got to listen to my music
Yeah.
because I get kind of, like you said, the motivation books do kind of get old.
It gives you that break.
Yep, it gives you
Yeah.
that break. So 100% right there. So
I listen to more like the music and not so much the lyrics. I've never been a real
I'm a
lyric
lyric
kinda
guy.
Give me a good
I'm
beat
both.
and some bass, and let me just kind of jam out.
I'm both. I don't know. Like a lot of people would say, like all these new rappers and everything. I don't know. I feel like I should be an A&R, and maybe one day I will. In 5 years, who
Yeah.
knows? But I have like a real good ear for like just what, like sounds good to people. And it's not always the lyrics, like Migos and all these mumble rappers, whatever but the general public likes it for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things where they don't even understand what they're saying. Let alone you can't actually like
Break it
audibly
down.
understand
Yeah.
what they're saying, but also the lingo, the slang, the things like that. A lot of people don't even understand what a lot of people are saying, but they love them.
Yeah, it's catchy. Like it's catchy, 100%. I wouldn't ever listen to Migos like when they first came out, or they're mumble rappers, because I was the Lil Wayne duffel bag boy type
See,
listener,
exactly.
and then they came out, and I'm listening to Lil Yachty and stuff. So I don't have I don't put them in like categories anymore. It's music, but like
music,
literally
yeah.
like. And then, but you mistake some people like Triple X, bro. I would never listen to him until he died, bro. That guy was mad talented.
Oh, super.
Mad talented, bro.
I see everyone for their talent. I mean, music for me, I don't know, it takes me to a whole nother place, but it motivates me more than anything. And that's people are like, they only talk about the same things. I'm like, so do fucking country singers. They talk
Bro,
about fucking beer. They talk about trucks.
They talk about
talk
trucks,
about-
dogs, beer, and their exes. That's all they talk
and some
about.
farm type shit
Yeah.
sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like being out there on a
But
fucking ranch
but
or
if
something.
you listen
Yeah.
to every country song, it loops. It loops to what the song started about, and then it talks about the depressing stuff about it, and then it loops around every country song
Yeah.
before 2015 is the same layout almost every time. And yeah, it's kind of cool that these new country singers are coming out. But literally, like when it goes back to rap, man, it's just. I'm a lyrical person, but I could tell what you're saying. Like, there's just, like, Drake would be a perfect example. He relates to everybody. Everybody can relate to his music for the most part. But, like, these new mumble rappers, whatever you want to call them, it's just catchy. Like,
It's
you
catchy,
can't.
yeah.
You can play it in a club and that's where they're getting their money from.
And that's kind of that to me. That's very important.
It is. You have to be played in the club.
No one's listening to lyrics in the club.
No, not at all.
I mean,
no,
you can't. Like
no.
you're busy doing a whole lot of other stuff in the club. You're not. No one's.
So
trying
speaking of club,
Yeah.
I'm taking my first trip to Vegas.
Oh, yeah,
And
when
I
is
know
that
you
again?
threw
It's soon,
a
right?
big old bash in Vegas
Oh,
not
bro.
too long ago.
I've had some great times in Vegas, but at the same time, like literally, I didn't prioritize my trip well enough to where I actually slept 2 of the 3 days that I was there because I tried to smoke a cigar like a boss, and I was inhaling like a straight cigarette, bro.
I need some recommendations for Vegas. I don't know what kind of Vegas I would imagine it's just to go out and party the town down.
And that's the thing. You have to. I mean, I would say plan it, but I'm not a fan of planning vacations because you get
just kind of live them.
Your expectations get messed up all the time. But you just have to understand it. I would just say group your day into either we're turning up or we're being tourists, because you can have a great time no matter what you do, but it's like time flies by really quickly, and it especially when alcohol gets involved.
Vegas trips go by like that,
and they fly by. Yeah, but that's why I like it, because as long as you have it in small doses, it never gets old. But if you were there for like a week, I could see how it'd get old. But if you take tons of 3-day, maybe 4-day vacations, it's really fun. Especially if you do both. You know, like day one, when you get there, you might just have a relaxing day. Hey, we're just gonna walk the strip, kind of.
We're getting there Saturday night. Like 8 p.m. Saturday night.
Yeah, see, so you really, I mean, there's not going to be much touristy stuff to do.
We're just going to go kind of start turning up a little bit. And then that next Sunday, we're going to the NASCAR race. We're going to be out in the sun all
get
day.
turned up, but make sure the day before, don't get too turned up. Because, like, literally, you're going to drink a lot. Well, you're
I'm
not
not a
really
big
a drinker.
Yeah, so it
but,
doesn't
like,
take a
me,
lot for
when
me.
I went down there, I thought, like, I was just a man drinking. But those hangovers don't go
Yeah.
away. You could drink a lot more. Like, literally, you have to get up in the morning, go buy you some greasy-ass In-N-Out, drink, like, 4 Gatorades, or you just start
to
hitting
try
the
some
beer
of the
again.
restaurants out
They
there.
got fire food.
I
bro.
heard they got some really
Fire
good
food.
places to
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
The thing I heard about that, from a lot of people, like, the place to be is the old strip. Like, that's where...
I hear there's some good restaurants down there.
good restaurants. There's a lot of entertainment there. Like
Drea's nightclub is hands down the best club in Vegas. Is
Who's
what
that?
Colorado Kid 05 says.
Who's Colorado Kid 05?
I don't know.
come on, Colorado Kid 05,
Man,
announce yourself,
it's,
bro.
It's a good club.
Is
It's a
it?
good club. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good club. It's
Bro,
not-
the
I
promoters
would
out there
say
are so
hands
shiesty,
down
though.
They
the
were
best.
saying I should pick up all the cards on the ground. There's a bunch of cards
you
on the
can
ground.
If
Shit.
you want to find some, you know what I'm saying?
Bro,
find you a little something, you know what I'm saying? You can
And
a
I'll
little
share-
something to your room, but I got some contacts on my phone if that's what you want.
I'll share a little part, and this is gonna be hard to believe, but I put this on my kid. I went out there with Sprint, and anybody that's listening from Sprint that went out there with me. So the first night, I had a mission. There was like 4 or 5 guys there that wanted weed. And so I was like, I gotta go down to. I knew where an Express was, which was at the is it MGM with the big mall, the one with the, like more like Egyptian type stuff, like Olden.
Yeah, man, I can't.
Is it
even
MGM?
I've never been.
think. MGM?
I heard like Circus and all these places are like there's like an
Name the-
underground
name
tunnel.
the, like it's so.
Which one are you talking about?
It's the one. So there's the one with the fountains. and
That's
it's
the
just past
Bellagio.
The
The
Bellagio, and then
Bellagio.
after that is what?
Not the MGM, because the
It's-
MGM's on the other side of the street, a little bit further down. I think.
Name the big hotels out there.
There's Bellagio, the Venetian. No,
It might be the Venetian.
Caesar's Palace.
Caesar's
Caesar's
Palace.
Palace.
Yeah,
That
Caesar's
one.
Palace. So
the Roman. He
yeah,
said the
yeah,
pyramid.
whatever, bro. I was drunk, so I went to go find some
Because
weed.
Excalibur's the one that's in the shape of a pyramid.
Yeah, I went to go find some weed, and then I got another call to get something else, whatever. But I ended up sitting out there. I was until 2:00 in the morning. I got in a big argument with the vice president of the company at the time because I was hitting on the chick that he was supposed to be with, and I was like, my bad. So he was like, oh, I'm sorry for going off on you like that because I showed him a text message. Just short story. Over there, middle, trying to find what they needed to find, and these guys are out there saying "Fuego, we got the fire," blah blah blah. So I pick up the weed, whatever for them, and then come to find out they were related to Floyd Mayweather, like 100%. They're Gleamed out on the street, everything, bro. I put
What,
this
the
on my
fool
daughter.
slanging?
What, bro? Slanging, bro.
Why do they need to slang if they're related to Floyd? He ain't
Bro,
breaking
I'm
bread with
telling you right
nobody.
now. I'm telling you
He
right.
ain't paying none of his
Bro,
None
hoes.
of them.
bro, I'm telling you right now, bro. I like Floyd Mayweather has a lot of money, but you know how people do with their money. They're gonna have some side stuff that they might do. I know Floyd Mayweather. There's a lot of people that may not do it, but I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, I met them. We had a cabana party the next day, and I was like, hey, my boys need some more weed. I said, you guys come party with us, whatever. So I ended up taking off with them again. We rode off in a Mercedes G-Wagon the whole time. And at the end of the night, we show up at this whorehouse, right? And I'm like, I walk in with them.
What do they call that? Brothel?
Brothel.
Bro, it was a legit brothel because it wasn't just like some Asian, like, you know, sucky type place. So I walk in.
You sound like you know these places too.
No, if we gotta do that, we gotta hit up Eric Miller. Like, I've never been to one of those, never got one of those done. But I walked in,
And
they were
now he's
like,
calling his homie out.
Hey,
The government.
Yeah.
but that's when he was in his crazy days. But I'm telling you right now, bro. Like, I went in and they're like, yeah, we got you taken care of, blah blah blah. And so I'm like, so I'm about to get like the whole European treatment. But when I walked in, bro, my life was literally, I had to call a cab. I literally didn't feel so disgusted. I couldn't stomach what was going on. It looked like the movie Taken, bro. Like, they were just shuffling around girls, like beautiful ass women that looked like they were drugged up. It was like literally probably like.
Did you have a good time?
I swear to God, I
Best
didn't
time
do
of
it.
your life?
No, I had to walk out, bro. I couldn't do, bro.
You walked out. Why? Because the women were disgusting.
Bro,
or
no, they were beautiful as
what,
shit.
were they smashing them and then passing them? What was disgusting
They were
about
drugged
it?
the fuck out. You think about the movie Taken.
I don't know. If
I've never seen it.
That's the one with Liam Neeson.
Yeah, and you see all those girls that are just drugged out, like over there. Oh hey, like, and then you have these big like Vladimir, like what, like Russian motherfucker.
Oh,
like,
for real?
Yeah, like literally, bro. Like, and they're like, who's this guy? Like, they were worried about who I was because I hadn't been in there before, and obviously I'm with these guys. They're probably regulars, and these girls are drugged the fuck out of their mind.
Oh,
you could just
shit.
tell they're sex slaves, and they're like not there on their own. And I was just like, hey, I gotta go grab my phone. One of the guys walked me out to get my phone from the car, and I called a cab, bro. I was out. I was scared, bro. But bro, there's some shit there. But you're a good man, and you're gonna be not in that lifestyle. But I'm gonna tell you right now, just go to the old strip because Rob said that he just found it a lot more fun and like.
At the old Vegas?
Yeah, and because the thing about I don't know the old Vegas. The thing that I hate about the strip is how, and I can understand why with people being drunk and running people over and shit. But I hate how you have to walk like miles to cross the damn street. Like, it sucks.
I mean,
I've
yeah,
never been.
you just have to know. There's very few places you can cross across the strip because it's busy, it's traffic, so you can't cross. You never cross the actual strip on the street. It's always over like walkway.
So you got to
Yeah.
make sure you
But
know where you're going.
But I'm sure there's an app or something that'll tell you. I mean, but even when you
get
walk,
the bus pass while we're out there.
I wouldn't buzz pass
Hell
it.
no.
I would just call Uber.
Everything-
I would probably
Yeah.
just Uber.
That-
The Uber situation sucks though too because then you have to walk all the way up to a hotel's entrance to get because Ubers can only pull up to certain places out there, so
okay.
they can't just pick you up on the street.
Yeah.
So you have to walk up to like the MGM's valet, and it has to be like on a certain side of the building. Like, it's just you'll see when you get out there. So. I mean, walking's definitely the way. I would just put on some comfy walking shoes, and it's not bad. It only sucks if you walk from one end of the strip to the other. But if
Yeah.
you're stopping along the way, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But
And if you're gonna drink, bro, I'm telling you right now, go to the gas stations because they're like $8 for the beers. You go to the gas stations, bro, you get a big old red Stripe for like
you get
$2,
faded,
$3.
bro. Yeah, don't,
$2 or
yeah,
$3.
that's what I would say is if like it just depends how you plan on spending money. I mean, Vegas can be cheap as long as you.
I thought about
as long
going
as you
out there
plan
and
the
just
right
throwing
way.
all my money on black or red
See, I thought
and
about
trying to
doing
double
that
up.
too.
And
Don't do that, man. I did that the first time I went out there.
did you lose?
I went out-
Well, did you do black or red or what'd you do?
I did blackjack.
No,
took out
fuck
20
that. I'm either one hand, double up, that's it.
Bro,
Bro,
$2,500.
Bet the double zeros too. Not the double zeros, but the split the 0 and double 0. Bet the green, bro. Because I did that, bro, and lost like $500, bro, quick. Because it hit green.
Yeah.
I thought I was good. I was like, oh, because it was like red. It was like 8 reds in a row.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been more sure it was going to hit black.
Yeah.
Bro. Shit hit double zeros.
Zeros.
And at the time I started to figure because roulette's my favorite game in the casino.
Yeah.
That's my game.
I like that.
I
game
want to
too.
learn how to
Uh,
play craps because I played it once and I started catching the the logistics of it, but at the same time, like you have to really play the game a lot to really understand it. But there's so many ways to win on the damn craps table. But obviously, there's so many ways to lose if there's many ways to win. But when I put that $500 in blackjack, I lost it. And I only had like $2,500 when I went out there. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna do another one. So I got my 500 back.
You guys went and kept gambling. I'm trying to just go out there, throw all my money on one hand, and I either double up and I'm done gambling for the weekend and I had a great weekend that paid for itself, or
you're gonna use credit
I
cards
lose
the rest of
all
the
my
time.
money.
I did do that the last time we went though. When me, Tom, and Jay went, I did do that. I bet $200 because I was like, I'm gambling $200.
That's
so I went.
That's your bankroll.
Yep.
That's what you
I
put
went,
on there.
slapped it down, lost it, and walked away. Finally, that's the only time in my life I've actually walked away from a table after losing, because I always do exactly what he did.
And all our
let
family.
me bet one more, boom, and then I'm 400 deep, and I'm like, fuck, all right, let me slow play another 100, and just see if I can get it back, and it never works.
Get it
all
back.
our family is gamblers though. Mine and Marshall's family, like literally, they're gamblers. Like when my mom and grandma go to the casino, they used to leave us in the
Go
car.
sit at the slots and play slots all night.
Yeah, but
Some penny slots, get some free drink.
I don't know if you remember, like, I don't know if you were with us, but they left. It was your mom, my mom, and grandma. My mom hit like a big jackpot, and I remember that they didn't pay her because her ID just wasn't valid or something. But they left us in the car because the arcade wasn't open. So I remember that very distinctly. And they used to do it all the time. But yeah, man, I if I could go to Cripple Creek like at least 3 times a week, I would. But it's just, you lose. There's too. The house always wins, no matter what. The house is always gonna win.
I've cleaned up in roulette. I've
roulette.
done.
That's
good.
usually when I go. I've only been to Cripple Creek a couple times, but when I go, that's usually what I stay at.
Marshall's also never been to a strip club.
I have not.
Damn, bro. Yeah, that's. I haven't been to a Vegas.
Are there
strip
good
club.
ones out here though? Like
Snooty
be
Fox
honest.
is legit.
I don't know, bro. Snooty's music is legit, and it just depends, bro. I've only been like stupid faded in there, so I don't even know what the chicks look like. I pulled one snap, you know what I'm saying? She was pretty bad, but other than that, I don't know. I just really, I don't know. I go to strip clubs just to hang out. It's like, for me, it's just good to like wind down, especially like getting faded in the club. It's just nice to go there after the club and have somewhere you can like sober up a little bit and like remember the night a little
Marshall
bit.
doesn't believe me, but I'm the same way because Rob, like, you know, one of my best friends, he's a DJ there. So when he's there, I literally go there and just drink beer. Like, it's the strip club isn't all about titties and ass. Like, literally, I go down there, just like you said, wind down with Rob. They're open till 4 o'clock. Like, I want to sober up before I go home, have a few beers with him. And I get in free. He gets free drinks, and it's like it's a cool place to be. But Snooty is the best out here in Colorado Springs for sure. And it competes with a lot of Denver strip clubs.
The venue's cool, yeah. I don't know about the actual dancers. They're probably not high caliber, but the actual, yeah, as long as the music's good, I can have fun really anywhere.
I've always wanted to save myself for Vegas.
Probably, bro.
I heard Vegas is where if you're
Is
gonna
it
go
just
to
you and Nicole going?
Yeah, and my dad's gonna be out there for like 1-2 nights.
Your dad
while
will
we're
go
out
to
there
some
too.
strip clubs with you.
Yeah.
But I don't think your dad's ever been a strip club kind of guy either.
I just I don't know, bro. You got to wild out in the street. I used to.
Yeah.
I first learned about the strip club from my homeboy. He took me, and I always told him, I was like, bro, I'm not going. And he caught me slipping one night. I was like faded after downtown.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, let's go. Because I was just so fit, you know, eventually that fuck it instinct kicks in.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it, let's go. And
That's
he's like, I'll
me.
pay for you, I'll give you the ones, everything. Because I was like, bro, I'm not going to pay to see titties, bro. I'm seeing them for free. Like, I'm not.
It
gonna pay
feels
to
good
see
when you could
titties.
throw that bundle, though.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then I went there, and like, this is when he was balling out. And so now I don't really like going unless I'm balling out. Because
it's a whole
I've been
different
there, and
experience when
it's a
you're
whole
balling
different
out.
experience. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. There's only like two mind frames you have. You either try to stunt on everyone else that's there, or you just genuinely go to have fun. But just sitting there is not really fun because you start to eventually feel sorry for the girls.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
it's
bro,
like-
that's how I be getting
you
every
start to- I
time.
start to feel sorry for them, bro. Well, for 2 reasons. One, they're like, so sometimes there's pitiful dancers, and I'm a firm believer, like, if you're a pitiful dancer,
Don't be doing
up
it.
there.
you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting money, like, then again, you shouldn't be doing
There's
it. And
legitimate
something
girls that
wrong.
don't make money at strip clubs, and they still do it.
And they
Like,
still do it. And there's some that are just disgusting, bro. And I'm like, I don't know. I won't support it. So I won't tip those ones. But I'm not one of the ones, because there are some where I see some girls that are actually pretty talented.
Yeah.
And you see dudes that got like $10 total, you know, and they won't even tip. And I get it. Like, don't get me wrong. Just because you're in the building doesn't necessarily mean you should be tipping. But if you're going to sit up on the stage and you're sitting there like, and you got the girls like shaking major ass all in your face, like,
you better put some money down.
Tip them for it, you know. And when I'm not going to tip, I'll get up, give my seat up, and go move either further back or go to the bar and then just go actually be in the club to be in the club. But I won't be, you know, in front of them like hogging their space, because, you know, like they kind of they choose who they're going to be dancing in front of and who they're going to do the little. I mean, they do all kinds of weird shit, bro. The little click clack, the little click clack in their booth. They fucking, bro. I didn't have a motherfucking stripper bitch and put her legs around my head and was like,
smashing your face,
yeah, bro, with her ass, bro.
I'm single now, so
pink eye, baby.
I'm single now, so I get, bro. We went for one of my ex's best friend's bachelor's or her husband's bachelor's party. We went to Denver, and half of them were like Mexicans from like Mexico. They had like Mexican IDs. We had to go like 5 different strip clubs before we got into like 1 or 2. So we went out there, and literally, like, by that time, we were all just drunk as shit.
Where was this at?
In Denver.
Oh, okay.
So I don't remember what it was, but crazy thing is first off, I'm over there at the first club we get into, and I have this girl come around and start grabbing my neck, and I'm like, I said, I'm not paying for a dance. It's my homeboy's bachelor's party. If you want to dance, I'll buy one for him, but I'm good. And then she goes, Chris, you don't remember me? And I'm like, what? And this girl, Brittany, used to be like this ugly-ass chick that worked at my call center, and like, I guess she got a boob job, and like her face is totally different. I'm just like, what's up? So she ends up saying, hey, let's party, blah, blah, blah. But that was one of the funnest nights I could say that
Do you guys prefer Denver nightclubs over Springs nightclubs?
Denver nightclubs for sure. It just
What's
sucks.
the difference? Just more people?
It's the quality of women. 100%, and then on top of that, it depends where you go, but the music's going to be better, and the venues
It's a little
are
bit
going to be a
more
lot
turned
better.
up in Denver
Just
than
everything.
it is
But
here.
I mean, it's just because it's Colorado Springs, and it's just 90% of Colorado Springs. It's just old money. It's the same 1 or 2 dudes that own all these different
Bro,
bars.
the guy that all the clubs downtown, there's one guy that owns them all, basically, right?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple, but there's one, and just me being in real estate, I just literally look up people's names, and it's like one dude, you know, and he just has his
something
own.
Basitsky or some shit.
Yeah, it's like Sam. I can't.
Yeah,
think of his last name.
Sam.
Sam, and he, you know, I don't know the guy, so I can't talk bad about him, but I will talk about the establishments, and they're whack, you know, like it's just old. You know, you got the same DJ playing songs from the early 2000s, from the 90s. Fuck the 2000s. You got people playing songs from the 90s, you know, and it's like 20 years old. It's like, bro, if I wanted to listen to fucking oldies, I'd go to a bar. I'd go to a dive with 30 and 40-year-olds, you know? Like, you should
That's my little hangout. I like little dive bars.
Yeah, I would take a dive over those. So it's like...
I like to just shoot some pool, hang out.
And they still got, like, old-ass sparklers. You know, like, they're still using the fireworks sparklers. And that's why I appreciate it about Vegas. Even Denver, like, money talks, you know, at least they it's not they respect you for your money, but they respect the fact that you're spending money in their establishment, and they treat you as such. Like down here, you know, they don't care if you're going to spend $500, $1,000 in their club. They treat you like shit. And that's why
bottle service down here sucks.
It's
but
garbage.
You get bottle service up there, man. You get treated like your royalty. Like
you get to stand on the couches. They don't tell you to get off the couch. You get to be loud. Like when I was in Vegas, bro, I fell off the couch 3 times. Not only did I fall off the couch 3 times, I fell off the couch and flooded the whole VIP.
Wow.
And the VIP is probably about the size of this
You pissed
room.
your pants or what? No, I'm just kidding.
The VIP is the size of this room, I would say, probably. And I literally knocked this bucket, and at this point we'd been in the club for like an hour, 2 hours, but they put the buckets of ice on the table like in advance at the beginning of the night, so it had melted at that point halfway down. So we're talking a bucket that's probably this big full of ice water, and then our bottles are in it. I think they were to the side because we had been drinking out of them, whatever. But anyway, I'm jumping on the couch, bro, and I'm faded, and these fools' couch was very bouncy, bro, and is like fluffy, and so I fell off it 3 times, and every time I knocked this whole chest of water.
Wow.
The first time was the worst because I was just completely like not carrying.
And you were swagged out too, huh?
Bro, I was turned. Yeah, and I was just like jumping.
Now I'm talking clothes-wise too.
Oh yeah, bro. I was
all drenched up.
Yeah,
huh?
bro. I was. Yeah, and so I boom, fell off. knocked it. I fell onto the table. Like, I don't even remember how, but it was like I flailed falling. It wasn't like a little fall by any means. It was like WWE, you guys slammed through a table. I don't know how the table didn't collapse. It was a solid table. And I knocked this thing of water. It went flying, like to the point that it got those people wet, those people wet, and people kind of over here wet. It like splashed.
And nobody said shit.
Nobody said shit. The whole VIP was pissed at me. I was like, my bad. I went up and dapped everyone up, and they just done because we were the most turned in there. I had spent like $5,000 for that table.
Yeah.
So
it's expensive as shit.
And
to
it
get
was
tables
like
out there.
and it was on Memorial Day weekend, so everything was like double. And 2 Chainz was performing that night. It was just a hella turned up night, and so I
one of your best nights out.
Oh, still, I think to this day, probably the best
best
one. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I knocked that over, spilled it, flooded the whole VIP. Our bouncer, because you get a personal bouncer there, which is what I like too about Vegas, is you get your own security. And so you can, what I liked about it is I could literally be like, hey, bro, go get those girls from over there. Yep. Boom. He would go out to the crowd. Hey, over here. He wants to. I'd be like, hey, boom. They'd come back to the section. Back. Bitches got to acting crazy, started talking shit. I was like, bro, kick him out.
Get him out. Here.
Boom, kicks him out. You know what I'm saying? So it was just nice to be able to just moderate shit. No talking, no going back and forth. And that's how it was, is at one point, like some girls we had come over, whatever, she just started acting crazy and she started like raising her voice or something. I was like, you know what? I was like, hey, bro, get rid of her. And she just still wanted to keep talking. I was like, I'm done talking to you.
That's it.
Kick her out.
And there's levels too, because Denver, it's not that elaborate.
Yeah,
but
Denver's not like that, and Denver's a nice happy way in between, which is what I still like. But yeah, so anyway, I knocked this thing over. Boom, one time flooded the VIP. They come back, fill it back up with ice, water, and it wasn't just the ice chest I knocked over. They give you mixers. They give you those little glasses that like look like vases, filled with orange juice, cranberry juice, Sprite, and something else. So we had like 4 mixers too. I knocked all of this over. Boom, they come back, fill them all up. Did it 2 more times, bro. And so after the second time, our bouncer, because he had to clean it up. And these people aren't cleaning it up with a mop. They're using towels, bro. The towels they had on their head. So they're using like 20 towels each time to clean this up. So then they would finally come, mop it, boom. Right after they finished mopping, boom, did it again. Knocked everything down again.
Did you get to see 2 Chainz at least perform?
Yes, bro. I sure did. So then this shit happens again. I don't know if it was like during 2 Chainz or after 2 Chainz. I think it was probably after. I can't remember, but did it again. Then I could just see our bouncer was getting mad. So I was like, hey, my bad, bro. Tipped him. So then everyone that cleaned it up tipped him $20. Everybody, boom. No, even the first time, I tipped them all 20 because I felt bad.
Yeah.
And then, and I didn't want to get kicked out because I didn't know how it was.
Yeah.
But then they were like, oh, it's all good, whatever. Boom, tipped them all $20. Did this shit again, tipped them all $20 again. Did this shit a third time, and the dude was pissed. Tipped him again. After that third tip, they were like, please, knock this shit over, bro. Because at this rate, I was paying them like $20 every 20 minutes.
There's no X markers out there, bro.
Yeah, they got a quick $60 in an hour.
And I went back another time. Yeah, the time after, I went back 2 weeks later because we had so much fun. And that time, I was sagging my pants so hard, bro. I got drunk and my belt was loose. I fucking like threw my hands up in the air. My pants fell down to my ankles, bro. And I'm just literally in the VIP, bro, and just in my drawers. And I was like, oh shit. And I bend over and pull them up. But they still didn't kick me out. Like, it was just... just money talks, and it was just nice that they respected the fact, like, for $5,000, like,
you were out there to have a good time.
You actually got your money.
You did something like that, even if they put that price range on you, Marshall. Like, you haven't been to the club like that. Like, they're so quick to put X's on somebody for the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
And that you can't, like, do anything. And the minute you start screwing up or anything like that, like, you're out. You're out.
Yeah.
No matter what the cover charge is. Like, Mansion used to be $20 at one time. But you drank too much, you're X'd out. You seriously, like, bump into anybody on accident. You're, like, get out. Like, it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's dumb. The whole... And I'm glad that I'm out of it now, but the whole club scene out here is whack. It's whack.
Down here. That's my goal. And back into real estate, that's my like
start a club.
End all be all is to start a club out here, like a good one. Because the
There's
crowd
not
is here
one.
for it. The crowd is here. The youth is here. The military is here, and they love clubbing. It's just they don't know how to club. So it's like, as soon as I come across an investor or get come across the funds myself, that's my number one business.
Everybody complains about it. Everybody complains.
And they still don't change shit.
Nope.
Everyone complains that the music is whack. They don't change shit. Everyone complains that the management is whack. They don't change shit. Everyone complains that the venue is whack. They don't change shit. Like, All right, that's fine. You know, I just
But
that's
you
my
all
goal.
still
is
keep
like,
going back because there's nothing else. Why
I-
change if there's nothing else?
Yeah, I mean, but until there
Yeah.
is something else, and then they're gonna be.
You
in
got
a
your
real
preferences
interesting
too.
place.
Like if I go out downtown, like 100%, I like blondies. I don't thirsty pair of blondies, but mansion, I don't know. I don't get the feeling for it. Like I just never had the feel, but I know you like the mansion, right?
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the venue because it's a big open venue. Like it's not crowded. Like Thirsty's cool. The music is cool at Thirsty's, but it's packed.
It's packed
bro.
as shit, especially like on Friday nights when they open
Yeah,
up
the $4 fucking shit.
and-
Yeah, and they're the same way. Like I've been 86 out of there for fucking years.
Bro, I got 86 for like a year too.
And it's because I didn't walk down the block after the let out.
Wow.
Like because
Oh,
like bro, I'm
yeah.
not your fucking like property. I'm standing on public property.
Yeah,
it's
at
not even
that
like
point,
I'm
I'm
on your
out.
shit.
They
Yeah.
try to
And so
kick
I'm
you
like-
off the public sidewalks, bro.
Yeah, so I'm like, so you want me to walk down? Not only do you want me to walk down, that's one thing, but you literally are gonna 86 me for life because of the fact that I didn't want to walk down the street. And it's not even like I said I'm not going to. I just said, hold on, I'm taking a snap.
Tell me
'Cause
how
I was
you
on
get
Snapchat.
86 out of gyms, bro.
They'll still let your ass back in though.
No, bro. Like somebody, like a guy threatened this guy. Or I won't say his name, but this guy threatened me with a gun. Said he was gonna go walk out to his car. Everybody said he probably wouldn't have done it, but he was going out to his car. And as soon as it happened, somehow, some way, they got in contact. I don't know, with your dad. Called somebody. Grandma, bro. I went to go swing on this dude, and all of a sudden, here comes grandma. Was right in the face. But no, man, that's my type of bar though. Like
I
literally,
like little dive bars. I like little just hangout spots.
we all
close
can appreciate
friends,
gyms. Like that's like
Some
that's where we grew
pool,
up around.
darts.
It just depends on the what you're trying to do. I just like
Yeah.
if I'm wanted to relax or just do something real low key, then yeah, it's gyms all
Yeah.
day. But I like the music, and gyms doesn't play great music. And it's not only that, like it's the women. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's
if I'm
about
going to
the
If I'm
women.
going to the club, I'm
Yeah.
trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to
Find
get
you some
freaky. You know what I'm
friends.
saying? Yeah, I'm trying to see what's happening after the club.
You
know what
want to
I'm
know
saying?
who really has like opportunity to like really be big, and if they would like expand it out and like got that land, how cool would it be to have rhinos and then have like something like a walkover to that other side where all that land's at to actually have a club there?
I mean, they're
Because-
leasing that
yeah,
still.
bro,
Yeah,
yeah.
anybody could.
That,
but-
that bro, that establishment, like just having, because they have a little, they get packed on Friday and Saturdays night, got a decent DJ, but if they had like a,
We were out there
a
not too
bridge-
long ago for a friend's birthday party.
Got
Some dude
beat
got beat up
yeah,
by security. He got his ass beat
Trying
hard.
to be too gangster. Yeah, that shit was funny. I mean, I like it.
the bald black dude.
Nah, well, who?
The
They
ball
got beat
black-
up or
no,
they
the-
did
the
beat up?
bouncer.
I don't remember.
There's
which one.
like
It's
all
probably,
of
he's
them. They
probably
all
one of them.
jumped
Yeah,
in.
they all just.
Bro,
beat
they're
the shit up.
ruthless over there. Those
Yeah,
bouncers
they
don't give a
play.
shit.
They beat this
it
dude's
doesn't-
ass.
Like if you're still trying to fight bouncers, you're an idiot. Like you're gonna get
You're
jumped.
gonna
Like so,
lose.
unless you have a whole clique of you that's
Squad,
gonna fight the
yeah.
bouncers, which that is what it is. But I'm not with any of that anyway because I just don't like fighting being drunk. It's just it's
No
not a
fun
good
at all.
outcome.
I had to get rid of that. Get out of that.
It's
mind
so
state.
bad, bro. You'll lose 9 times out of 10. Like it
Cause you're so drunk.
You're so drunk, like you really don't have a chance. And it's like, and honestly, it's 90% of the time over something stupid. And even if you did win, like there's a part of you that would feel bad the next day, like damn, I whooped that fool's ass for what, And it's like it was funny when we were younger, like
Yeah.
I beat that fool up last night. It was for no reason because he said that my shirt was a funny cut, like back then. But it's like especially with charges and shit now, like that shit's
Yeah.
not funny.
Like literally, like when the last like real fight I got into was at Holy Cow, and bro, like this guy first he called me spec because we were playing beer pong, kicking his ass. He stops in the middle of the game over there, all drunk, talking to some girl. I'm like, bro, can you keep it going? Like we're on, like we're got this, and it's $100.
yeah.
So I'm like, let's get it going, blah, blah, blah. He called me spec, and I was like, cool, it's just words, blah, blah. Then he pushed me over 2 beer pong tables. So I was like, at that point, I was with Herman when he was going through that, like, oh, like, everything's peaceful type shit. And like, I'm like, all right, Herman, like, he's like, let's just go, bro. I'm like, nah, dude, like, I need to handle this. And so the dude's like, they tried to kick him out. I'm like, no, I'll wait. I said, I'll be outside. So he's like, I'll meet you at the McDonald's parking lot because that's what the bouncers told him. They're like, you guys do whatever you want down there. So he didn't come. So Herman's over there trying to like hold me, and I just take off running up there, bro. And he's sitting at his truck, and I just tore his shirt off, and I said, do something about it, bitch. And all of a sudden, bro, I hear everybody the next day in the camera like, Chris is going to get his ass whooped. Chris is going to get his ass whooped. And I beat this dude's ass, and he's way taller than me. But I felt like shit the next day. Like, Like this dude, and I think he was in the military and shit, and he probably was just drunk, and I should have just let it go. But bro, once he pushed me over those beer pong tables, it was just like.
I mean, if somebody gets physical with you first, that's one thing.
That's
But
a
that's
whole
what I don't
different
even like
story.
either. Is I just don't like any of that. But
Yeah.
I just wish there was a good place. Like Rhinos is cool, but it's like they play old school ass music. I just wish there was a place with like good new music that the youth. You know what I'm saying? Not even the youth, but like the young, early 20s. Maybe even early 30s. People would appreciate but. They got like that fucking 40 and up shit at Rhinos. I feel like it's like 40s.
Yeah, it is. But like, if they made an establishment, like I'm saying, Mansion plays some good shit, but they're just like their whole layout of that club is just kind of.
I like the layout. That's what I like the most about it is the layout. I just
I
don't
wish
like
they-
the DJ. Like, there's no reason he's still playing the fucking Cupid Shuffle. There's no way he's still playing the fucking Suavemente, fucking
Suavemente.
the other one, the Despacito. I mean, maybe Despacito you can get away with because that's newer, but not every single week. And it's like I wouldn't know it's every single week except that. That's like everyone. They go there every single week,
Yeah.
whether it's
Bro,
Thursday or
they
Saturday
have a
or both.
revolving playlist, and the thing is, they don't get new DJs in there, and that's the cool thing about clubs in Denver. Oh, we're gonna be having this DJ in there tonight. Like, I really don't feel like the Mansion changes.
Why don't you
the DJ.
become a
No, it's
DJ? Why don't you
literally the same
DJ on the
DJ.
side?
I should, bro. That might be my calling, bro. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, like
Shout out to
Yeah.
DJ Kraft, man. I know you always be playing some good music, so we'll have to get him on the show.
You're so into music and all this. I mean, now that you got a little bit of free time, not doing on these housing projects.
I guess I could start DJing
Start
on
a
the
little
side,
project.
bro. That's
If you want to borrow some of the equipment, bro, I got a bunch of cool shit.
I didn't think about that. I might start looking into it because it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I made beats, you know what I'm saying, so, and I
Yeah, that's what
understand a
I'm
lot of.
saying.
Be
the
one of those
fundamentals
live
and stuff,
YouTube DJs, bro.
I don't know there's such thing.
Yeah, there is
Live
such a
YouTube
thing, bro.
DJ?
Like replaying music, bro, and he'd be like, he'd be putting out requests and stuff like that, and like people in their houses, they want to get down with their.
Practicing his set before he goes on stage.
No, bro, I'm
with
telling you,
YouTube
like,
or
no,
what?
like, mostly it's slow songs, and like this dude's like literally doing it for like couples that are want to like.
YouTube's got
get jiggy.
everything.
Bro, I would DJ at
Everything.
weddings. I would DJ because I
Yeah.
just love music. You know
That's
what I'm
what
saying?
I'm
I just
saying.
love music of all types. I mean,
I could see Joe on like in
Man.
front of some behind some turntables, like with some LA water right next to you.
that's it. Yeah, I was just getting faded because I don't even be in. I mean, like I said, I do like go in the club and whatever, and I'll chit chat with some women and stuff. But I mean, ultimately, I'm just there to have fun. Like usually, it's just me and that full TC. We're just usually just like doing our own thing, like
Yeah.
making our own little dance moves and shit. Like just fucking around, having fun.
That's what me and Anthony used to do, bro. Just
yeah, we just have-
that we had that bottle. Just
Yeah, we
that
just
was
kind
our
of do
shit.
our own thing. Like, I don't really be in there, like, fucking with it. Because it's just, like, there's a bunch of people, like, putting on their fake personas and wearing fake jewelry and fake clothes.
Bro, that's
and
what kills
fake-
me, Joe. What do you
all
feel
this
about
fake
that?
shit.
Those fake ass big gold change, and like I don't know how these. And it's not about a whole thing about women. I just don't know how these women fall for it. Like they be
Fucking
going
goofies,
after it, like
exactly.
like
Yeah.
literally these chains are that big, and I'm like, if that was a real chain, that's over $100,000. Like if it was really real, that's $100,000 chain. And I'm just like, I don't ever say shit. I probably would
It's
back
all
in my
of
day.
it. It's all of it, though. I've just realized it's all a fake persona that people put on. And that's the thing. Like, to me, like, the chick is that much worse if she falls for that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that just, I mean, like I said, don't get me wrong. I probably hit, but
Yeah.
I would never wife you up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
So you just devalue yourself.
So Joe's like, I'm gonna
because
go
it's
get
like,
me one of these fake chains real quick just to hit something.
No, I got my gold rope. You feel me? I already got the gold rope. It's real, but that's all right. But no, it's to me, I just think it's a bigger problem for society. Everyone just wants to be something they're not, and it's being real is the new not cool thing to do. Like being real, and that's the thing is like being honest, being genuine, being you. Being, an individual is not cool. Like for 90% of the youth, not even, I don't even want to say the youth. I mean, I guess that includes like in your 30s and under, but like people are just portraying a lifestyle that they don't really live. And that's be that on Facebook, be that Instagram, in the club, be anything. You get these moms that act like they're great moms, but you see them in the club every single Thursday
Posting
and
on
Saturday, every
Facebook
single
like,
Thursday, Friday,
oh
and
yeah,
Saturday.
my kids are most important. But you see these girls at the club, and like literally 20, 21, 22, couple girls that I knew like just personally that, all the time, great moms, blah blah blah. But dad's always had the kids and everything like that. But like you said with the persona stuff, it's like that's one thing I could pride myself on. I've never like put a persona on. I've always had like my own unique type of dress. Like
It's always
I've
just being you.
yeah, I've always been that. I've never like deviated from the way I've act. I've always been a wild sons of bitch. I've just never deviated from it. Like that's just who I am. I can't help it. Like I really, if I wanted to change who I was, I'm not giving you the real me, and you gotta accept me for who I am. So if any single ladies want to like holler at me, that's who I am.
Shit,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that's my take on it. It's too much fake stuff going on, and it's just I don't know. I would say it's disheartening, but it's not. It just makes it kind of reaffirms, me doing what I'm doing, and just knowing that it'll take a special individual to see through all the fake and know like all this stuff is just none of it matters. I mean, quite honestly, and that's what the one thing I have realized in real estate is I've seen like genuine real big money, and I've seen it in all different forms and fashions, and I've seen rich people that look like straight bums, and I show up trying to impress them, and I feel fucking stupid because it's like
Hey, look at all these successful people. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Gary Vee. They wear like Hanes t-shirts. They don't give a shit about their persona because they know inside what they're doing behind that t-shirt,
Even-
behind those like old Nike Nike shoes they got. Like it's crazy.
It's same thing with me. Like, I mean, today I decided to put some comfy shoes on, but I wear the same pair of Nike Air Maxes that have the fucking popped air bubbles 6.5 days out the week. Like, I put these on maybe once or twice, only on days I don't go to the gym. But for the most part, and that's why I bought a ton of these real estate pieces of clothing. I wear sweats and a hoodie every single day. It's my go-to, and it's like the same. Really like 2 or 3 hoodies because I honestly don't even like messing a lot of them up. But I don't even buy clothes anymore. I still buy shoes just because, not necessarily that I like collecting them, but I just have FOMO about the fact that they may not make that colorway again. And I've never seen anybody that's older have a pair of cool shoes like from back in their day.
Yeah.
Like it would be cool if somebody had like some old school
retros.
Pumas or some
Yeah.
old school like some genuine old school. Like you see old people now trying to wear new shit, but I never see old people wearing new old shit, and that's what I want to be able to do is in 10, 20 years, 30 years, even when I'm grown, I want to have some shoes from back now that, who knows, we might have fucking shoes that lace themselves by then.
Bro,
The kids are going to be
they're
like,
already
you
there.
actually have strings in your shoes? What do you, like, why do your shoes look like, so it's like, yeah, because Nike just released those shoes that charge
Yeah.
on the pad, those
Yep.
shoes that Eric Johnson has a pair of.
Yeah, bro. The only time I buy new shoes is if they're like at Ross for like these are like $80 shoes I got for $29, and I think they're fresh and they match with what I have. But bro, I never bought a pair of Jordans in my life. I buy LeBrons. I bought like 4 pairs of LeBrons at full price. That's it. All the rest of my shoes, Kobe Bryant, the Kobe's are from Ross. Most of my LeBrons are from Ross. I got a good probably 20 to 30 pairs of shoes, but I've never spent like full price, but maybe 4 or 5 of them. But I can see what
Shoes
you're
just
saying.
never were a big thing for me. I wear a pair of shoes till they pretty much fall off, and then I go buy another cheap pair of shoes. And
But that's the whole being the dad part thing, like, and that's what I'm getting better at. Like, I don't like everybody in the family says, "Oh, you buy a bunch of clothes and you have a bunch of clothes." But these clothes, I've been the same size for like the last how long? 15 years. I've gained a little weight, but the clothes still fit me. So it's like, oh, you got a bunch of clothes, you buy them all the time. I haven't bought like literally a pair of like this shirt was the last thing I bought. But before that, it'd probably been like 4 or 5 months before I bought myself anything, and it needs to be more than that
yeah.
now.
I don't. Yeah,
I just have too many hobbies. There's so many things I like to do that I'd rather spend money on than clothes and
that's
shoes
the way it
or
should
jewelry
be. No,
or
you buy stuff to not like you buy stuff to impress yourself, not to impress others. Not even to
Exactly.
impress yourself, but stuff that you like. And,
yeah.
It makes me feel good to match is my thing, and then like, but everybody be complimenting me like, oh, you get this, you know, that's just how I feel it, like make it right. But what I really need to get at, like a $7.99 t-shirt, that makes a big difference if I'm buying those 3 or 4 times a month. And I've seen the like money back in my pocket because $36 a month times 12, it's a lot of money. And that's the thing I got to get in the mindset of is saving money over time with these little penny like things that I like making lunch. Marshall's like, I've been putting all this money that I've been spending on lunch back in this podcast, and I'm saving tons of money doing that. And when I was doing that, man, I was saving tons of money too, because damn, you could spend $5 to $10 a day on lunch And then in snacks too, it's like what? Especially,
And especially if you're doing it more than once a day. Some people do it breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I know Joe's a big fan of the Chipotle diet.
That's it. I mean, for me, it's
that
literally
that doesn't,
because
bro.
you
That doesn't
can't-
fuck with your stomach though, bro.
Hell no,
Bro, it'd be screwing my stomach,
Probably
dog.
because
Like,
it's too good for you. So
Bro,
your stomach is rejecting it. Like, what the fuck
I
is
heard
this
there's a
healthy
lot
food?
of like sodium in their food.
No. I mean, maybe, but sodium's only bad if you don't work out, which,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess if that, and again, it's not for everybody. So, yeah, but for me, somebody that
Your
works out,
constant diet.
sodium is actually good because I sweat a lot. So, sodium actually needs to be
Did you get the
replenished.
the steak or the chicken?
Chicken.
steak all day.
Always chicken.
I try to put steak and chicken, but if I'm just like it's steak preferably. But do you eat the like hot sauce, like the red one, or no?
I used to. So I used to get all three sauces. So my Chipotle habit has kind of evolved over the past few years. So now I just do mild. I used to do mild, medium, and hot. And then at some point, I don't know, bro. I'm very
The hot sauce is what screws up my stomach, 100%. Because when I started doing the mild, but the thing I don't like about Chipotle, they have
Let me guess, you like
mild.
Qdoba?
Yeah, they mild.
Oh, fucking. Of
They have
course.
like what would we call it? It's
Is there even a
Pico.
difference between
Pico. Yeah, it's Pico. There's
Chipotle and
Yeah,
Qdoba?
big
What's the
time.
difference?
Qdoba's fake.
It's
What do you
Qdoba's-
mean?
It's a knockoff.
It's not necessarily that they use GMOs and just not healthy shit. Like Chipotle's all natural. Everything is natural. That's why it
Yeah.
took them so long to come up with queso. Is because it took them years and years of research and development to figure out how can we get cheese that has the consistency of cheese that's all natural that can sit on a line all day long.
Sit
Yeah.
on
And
line
that's
without
why
going spoiled.
when it first came out, people were like, "Oh, this is grainy. This is this." Well, yeah, it's fucking real cheese, so it's gonna do that. It's gonna taste weird.
Yeah.
Have you ever taken real cheese and tried to make fucking nacho cheese out of it? It's fucking hard. It's
Yeah.
not, nobody that makes queso, they use that fucking Velveeta brick and throw it in the crock pot. Nobody actually uses legit a block of cheese,
Yeah.
chops it up and tries to melt it. And if you do, look at the results. So it's. That's what that's why I like Chipotle, and that's why I ate Qdoba. So I went on my Chipotle binge. I mean, I've been eating Chipotle like 20 times a month for the last 6 years. But at first, I was doing Qdoba and Chipotle when I worked at T-Mobile because it was close.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I just converted solely to Chipotle. No particular reason. I just I don't know if it's convenience or maybe it was their cilantro rice tastes better. Nothing substantial. Anyway, I was on it for a long time. Then I went to Qdoba one day, and that fucked my stomach up.
Yeah.
Tore it up. But also the texture of the meat is different. You can just tell they use just subpar ingredients, and it's the same cost. It's not that. It's just
So I've been seeing you at this new place, Al's Chicken and Waffles.
Al's, yeah.
That's
I
a good
haven't had it.
place.
Marshall,
had it
you've been
yet?
there too.
I went there the first time the other
What did
day.
you think?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you say it like that?
I feel like the paper plates don't match the quality of the food.
Okay.
I think it kind of brings that down just a hair. Because the food was great, but then I was like, man, I'm eating off a paper plate.
Where's
Yeah,
it?
it's kind of homey feel. I get that part, but
Where's it?
I just dropped
originated from? Probably down
$16
south?
for this meal.
No, I don't know where her grandpa's from, but
Oh, so she's local, and then
yeah, she's my friend. Yeah, she's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, her
TC
husband
and
her
all them
husband,
work
yeah,
up
TC's
there.
my homeboy.
Yeah.
And he's her husband, and so Cheryl, her and the grandpa run it. Al is the grandpa, her grandpa.
He was there.
He's
He
the
took
owner.
my order.
And then his granddaughter Cheryl, they run it, and then TC kind of runs it too. They all kind of do, but Cheryl moved out here from Nebraska just to do that. That was always Al's dream, was to have a restaurant. He's a veteran.
And that's what I
So,
tell
yeah,
tell
that
my
was his
grandma and my mom, and their green chili and their Mexican food. I was just like, let's all go out on a whim, all invest in each other, and bro, we can have a mad new Mexican restaurant.
I did like the mac and cheese at Al's. That was
That's
really
pretty
good.
good,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you guys had a skirted heifer yet?
I haven't had it yet.
You
I
guys,
just
so
heard
Marshall,
about
if
it.
you literally,
I'm not that big into cheese. I don't do a lot of cheese.
It's not even about the cheese, but the meat. Like Joe says, you can tell. When I went there, at first it screwed up my stomach, but once I started having it more and more, because I ate it for a good 4 times a week for about a month. I just had to go have it because it was so good. But once I started eating it, my body got adjusted to it. But it's all grass-fed, natural beef, and you can taste it. It doesn't taste right at the first time, but when you start going back to it, it's
See,
it's
cuz
it's a
that's
great.
how healthy food is.
Yeah, it's
people,
So when I get my ranch going, you guys can get your food from me then?
bro.
I'll
if
buy
you-
some
as
beef.
long as you
Natural,
butcher
grass-fed.
But you're gonna
it
have to
and
have
keep
it
that shit
cooked.
healthy, and yeah, exactly. I don't want no fucking E.
course.
coli and shit.
Nah.
But yeah, absolutely. I'm all about healthy food. I'm all about
I'm
just.
trying to get a ranch.
That's all we have is health. Well, you just gotta sell your crib, bro. We could get you one. It's easy peasy.
Yeah, we can make it happen eventually. I've been saying that, and then not doing nothing for a long time.
It's easy, bro. I don't want to say it's easy, but you can definitely do it. I mean, that's the coolest part about land. You can literally do what you want on it.
Yeah.
You can fucking get ATVs, and then we could come over and ride
That
ATVs
would
all the
be
time
dope.
and fucking just do whatever. You can fucking make you a little
I
pond.
just
and
can't go
stock
too
it.
far out because then no one's gonna want to come over because it's so far out.
Yeah, right.
Like this is right in like prime location of like everything.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't get like acre. I mean, you can here. You can get like one of those properties over off Constitution, those residential
Yeah.
rurals.
Bro, those are gonna,
yeah.
bro. That's gonna
those
be
are-
money.
That shit's it's like 400,
Yeah,
4 to
they're
7.
pricey.
But just buying some stuff out here,
Is
man.
that Tom?
Yeah, he said he's getting some lag spikes over there.
What are you on my laptop? Is anyone else getting lag spikes?
Yeah,
We don't
but
see him on our end.
yeah, there's some. Bro, right now is the time to invest in property, huh?
Anytime is it's a
Anytime.
finite resource. You know,
Yeah.
it's like if when I was a kid, if I could have ever thought like I could have bought, you know, even some shit for $1,000.
Oh, what it would be now
Like,
today is crazy.
It's crazy. Like all these people that bought out in Peyton and shit, they're fucking like these one clients of mine. I think they bought like for $150,000. I think they bought like 45 acres or something,
Yeah.
and that was like 15 years ago. And that same 45 acres is now like over $1 million.
Wow.
And the thing is that's crazy though is like they're trying to expand like they're trying to make Powers a little bit more wide, or is it Powers? Yeah, Powers. They're trying to make it a little bit more wider, like how it is in certain places. But the people that own the land on the side of Powers, that's the people who are getting paid. Like the ones that own, like, you know, hey, we want to expand over here. They come to them with the contract, say, hey, they're probably doubling up
Because
real
they
quick.
can hold out until eminent domain kicks in,
Yep.
until the government can literally force
Just
them
take
to.
your shit.
But they still have to pay you.
Yeah,
and
Fair
and,
market value.
And even if they pay you fair market, you can still argue that it's not and still get a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's, and then you end up getting like slightly over market. So yeah, they can, I mean, and it's killer. I mean, it's such a stupid amount of money. Like it's hard to even fathom, but yeah, so that's the thing is getting land anywhere is important because there's going to, you know, and with just population and growth and everything naturally, like we're gonna run out of land at some point. We will
Yeah.
literally
We're almost
run
connected
out of every
to like
single spot. of
we're
land.
connected to Monument. It's only a matter of time before Monument. I don't think it will get through like that whole Larkspur like exit type place.
Oh, absolutely. it
Oh,
will.
it will.
Absolutely. it
Oh,
will.
yeah.
Bro, it's
Larkspur's gonna
grown-
be the
bro,
new Castle Rock.
yeah.
Bro, do you guys
sure.
remember when like it wasn't Cub Foods wasn't even there? Like it was not there.
We got an In-N-Out coming. What are your feelings on In-N-Out?
I love In-N-Out. I haven't.
You're not a fan, Joe?
It's just another burger place, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like all these shits are the same. A burger is a burger is a
Yeah.
burger, bro.
I think it's just hype because where they're at. Like they're in California, they're in Vegas.
It's limited resource
Colorado
to us.
just has a
yeah.
lot of hype beasts. That's it. Like they just want shit that's trendy. They just want to be on the wave, and then shit's gonna fall off. Like people were talking about, oh, we got a fucking Taco Bueno. What is it now? Like, people
Yeah,
just-
bro, I
people
remember
just
that.
weren't Like, oh, Del Taco, we got Del Taco. That was a thing for a while, and now nobody.
Shit, the
fucking
place I
cares.
missed was
Like,
Hamburger Stand, bro. That shit was like I don't know what it was because it was cheap, but I remember your dad
Bag
because
of
your dad's a
burgers.
cheapskate, bro. Every time we want to go buy us like any type of food at all, he's still like that. He'll go to McDonald's, but he used to go just get a bag of burgers, bunch of fries, bring it back to the house. All of us ate.
Shortstop, that whole Platte Union intersection.
Shortstop was cool. It's all kind of going down.
It's shut,
Short-
they shut it down. They're tearing everything down and rebuilding. Someone
Oh,
bought
really?
the whole property and is like
Good.
rebuilding.
You know
it.
that
Good.
short, but they have a shortstop like food truck by 7-Eleven
Yeah,
in front
right
of the
here
gym. Yeah,
in the down the street.
right by Monica's.
Red Top was cool.
Red
Oh
Top.
my
I
God,
like Red
bro.
Top.
I mean, the only I just think, like I said, all burgers are equal when it's a burger in the form of a burger. But like it's like Shortstop did real good with like their toppings,
Yeah.
and they just had some things about them that made them them. And then Red Top, like the big ass burgers, like.
But the
things
quality
like
of the
that.
burgers
You-
were actually good too.
You have to have your niche, and I just feel like that's it. Like In-N-Out, there's nothing different about In-N-Out versus Whataburger versus fucking
They're all
like
burger
Checkers
places.
versus fucking they're all burger places.
I think a lot of
with,
thing
like,
with In-N-Out is their simplicity of the menu and how they 2x2,
There's a huge
3x3,
hype
4x4. Yeah, it's
I think
like
it's just
animal
hype, yeah.
style. I think that's a big thing with it. But like all it is Thousand Island dressing. Like just take me to McDonald's and put that Big Mac sauce on there, and
Exactly,
it's basically the
'cause
same
that's
thing.
Thousand Island
But I
dressing it
love
is,
In-N-Out. I guess I'm a hype beast.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with loving it. I'm just not a fan of.
So
fast
you
food,
used to do a
honestly.
lot of traveling too. You used to go back and forth to Arizona a lot. What's your
Yeah.
travel schedule like lately?
Uh,
Non-existent, it seems.
I mean, for now, yeah, kind of had some dampers on the plans. Miami, I'm gonna
Okay.
Miami here.
I heard
soon.
Miami's super expensive.
That's what they say. Yeah, it's gonna be.
You
know,
ready to
it's-
throw some bread?
I've done worse in Vegas. So.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, Miami's on my bucket list, but hopefully, that or whatever in crowd, whatever winner circle, whatever it may be, I am proud to say, bro, like first time, like
Did you get
first
in
day-
there?
No, bro, not yet, but this is my year because last year, bro, I actually finished right after Tyler actually got most Adelines. Last year out of the site,
Did he get the entry?
I'm pretty
No,
sure.
I don't know.
I
I think there's only like 4 or 5 people.
There, Brittany something, she got it, and I think it was like 2 or 3 other
Yeah.
people. But I had most accessory sales last year, so top of the game on that. But like my manager just looked at me, she goes, "You can do it." She goes, like they literally feel like every single one of my managers. It's not just hype. They really feel like I could be top dog. I'm in almost every one of the training videos. I don't get put on them all the
They're
time.
going to Puerto Rico again this trip.
That
They
shit was
are.
legit.
Yeah.
I went on a couple.
You
of
made
those.
the Puerto
So
Rico
did Jay
trip.
just go with you guys that
Yeah,
one
he
time?
was my guest because you get a guest every time.
But was he working there too?
Yeah. So yeah, funny enough, did they tell you a story about that? Did someone tell you the story?
Ufferman, I think, told me about that. And didn't he lose his job because of that?
Well, not necessarily. He had kind of like already assumed he was going to lose his job anyway because he took FMLA. But yeah, he took FMLA and went on that
Puerto
trip,
Rico.
bro. Yeah.
Shoot,
Yeah,
I need
that
to get
shit
it
is
in
funny.
with. I'm just gonna be able to make it. I'm gonna make it happen this year because last year I just had some down months because of certain shit. But it's over
easy,
now.
bro. The number one thing I learned, bro, is that it's a game and you got to play the game by the rules, and you got to not do what you think is best, but you got to do what the company says is best.
Yeah.
And you can't let your own thoughts, ego, wisdom, whatever it is, get in the way. Like there was times where I knew something was gonna fix a problem, and I would even tell people like, "Hey, this is how you fix it," but they wouldn't update the documentation or the instructions on how to fix shit. And so I was like, okay, well, you don't want me to do it my way in 15 minutes, which fixes it. Instead, you want me to go through this 10-minute
But they
procedure
end
that
up
won't
fixing
fix
it though. That's the cool thing
Boom.
about T-Mobile. They'll fix it eventually. If like
Eventually,
if,
yeah, but until they do, I'm gonna play by your rules.
Exactly.
You're
And-
telling me to do it, and I'm gonna do it exactly how you tell me to do it, and I'm gonna get a quick call, a low IOCR, and whatever doing because I'm doing exactly what you tell me, and I can't get in trouble because I can't get in trouble for not going above and beyond.
Yeah.
Because you apparently, per your rules, don't know that I'm going above and beyond. And honestly, you don't even give me credit for it because I'm fixing all these issues,
Yeah.
but I have a high CRT, so you're over here hounding
actually
me
being
because
getting
I'm actually
reprimanded
fixing
for
shit.
it.
Bro,
rather than
and
just,
like you guys wouldn't even imagine like how because they went to that P&L model, so like it's all profit and loss now. So
Good
luck, kid.
so CRT is like literally like so CRT, FCR, MPS. Like if you're not hitting it, you're getting coached. But right now there's so much study and research and like just what like they're taking so much things down to where they got the business model almost to the point. Like right now, once you get the call flow down there and able to let people like spill all their emotions out and be able to react and respond, so listen to understand, not listen to respond, the game's done. Like the game's done. You've already
easy.
won the war.
Yeah.
It's easy. Yeah, I mean, I learned how to do that, and he was the biggest reason. Like, I went in there and I was trying to fix everybody's shit, and then Marshall was killing me. He was like, his IOCR was like one of the lowest in the site. He was just fucking me up, and I was
I was
like,
destroying
I know he's not
everybody.
more tech savvy than me. Like, I've been a nerd all my life.
Didn't have to
I was
be.
like,
Well,
he's
you guys
not
were
more
a
tech savvy than me.
tech
Yeah.
center.
We were
huh?
tech back then, yeah.
Uh-huh.
We were tech, and then that was before smartphones even though. Were you around for 291 with
Yeah,
flip phones and shit?
uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's before we even had smartphones and shit. And yeah, he was killing me, and I was like, bro, like I had all the newest smartphones. I like was more of a computer, so I was like, how the fuck is
Yeah.
his IOCR lower than mine? But he played the game. Like back then, there was a rule like it was a 45-minute window, where if someone called back within that 45 minutes, it didn't hit your IOCR. So you know,
You guys'
there's
IOCR was that quick? We get 7 days now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Well,
so
no.
so that was
It
no,
was,
it was
if they called back within 45 minutes, it did not hit your IOCR.
But if
You
they called
still
back
had to
after that,
keep it
it
like
did.
3 or 4 days or something.
yeah.
now what they're going to, and I might be spilling the beans, but
But there's just so many people to kind of finish that. Is there so many people that were on their phones, and it would have taken me 3 times the amount of time to walk them through and fix the issue than it was to just have them hang up and call back on a separate phone line.
And you just all, and to me, and that's what I was saying, like, you don't take your own thoughts, because there's two ways of thinking about that. There's the, I should be actually fixing this person's problem. That's your personal standpoint. But then the business standpoint is, okay, in that same amount of time, you can help 3 other people and
That's
actually
a
fix
big
it.
thing for me
And
now.
even if they call back, and that's when I just stopped fighting it. And that's when I became, like, I literally was like #1 in the entire nation. Like, I was #1, the whole nation on the charts for like a few times actually. And then I would go 2 and 3, and I was just up there. But I know for a very long time I was like the agent, and it was just because I took my thoughts out, and there was shit I knew either would or wouldn't fix it. And there was times where it's like, oh, there's this known issue about a device, and I follow what it says in the, back then, what was it? It was the troubleshooting flows before
Yeah.
TCOM. We had troubleshooting flows, just like click next, in it. So anyway, the flow would tell me to just replace their device. I knew I could just master reset it and fix it, but the flow said to do this. So instead of trying to fix it,
and that's my
I would
big
just
thing right
boom,
You'd
now,
boom,
spend
bro.
boom.
20 minutes backing their information up, waiting for the reset,
doing
waiting
all
for
that,
them
and
to
I was
all that,
actually trying
waiting
to fix
for
their
them
issue,
to
but the company
test.
was just saying replace it. So I was like, okay, since you guys know everything, I'll just replace it. Which in my mind, I'm like, I'm out here fucking off company money because I'm sending out new phones, which cost hundreds of dollars, like $100
But
bucks
then the
per
number
exchange.
of calls you're not getting to
But
is
then-
costing them money too.
And the
It's
big thing
a
about that too is
double-edged
like that's
sword.
one of my big things right now is like following like this one policy. Like if a customer calls in for tech, like I have to get it to tech. But my 2 tech
When
guys,
I spent some time up there, I saw everyone trying to own that shit instead
They-
of just passing it on.
bro. But the thing about me is that
And them
like,
tech guys be sitting there for like an hour just waiting for a
and-
call.
And I know, like, when I give them to them, but the 2 guys that are on my shift, and usually they're the only 2 guys there most of the day. Maybe one other one comes in after the day, but they're all Apple guys. So it's like when I get them an Android problem that I already know,
So
I
become
could-
tech support and
Bro,
handle those
like, literally,
issues.
they
You're not
want-
tech support.
They literally want me to, like, those 2 literally want me to become tech support. Like, the other day, I was able to get a flip phone out of an English, like, from, it was in Portuguese or something. Like, the guy calls in, I was like, he doesn't know how to do this. I was like, bro, let me just watch a YouTube video real quick. Took me 3 or 4 minutes, got it fixed, done. And they're like, they go, I would have never thought of that. I usually use Google real quick. If I can't fix it within 2 minutes, I already hand off. So now, yes, I know now because like it does take away from the business because they need calls too because they're
every
FCR.
call that you guys miss that gets sent overseas costs them $5.50.
Bro, it's
every
killing
single
us,
call.
bro. Like $1.92 is what we came down from last year from like the the handle percentage. We came down $1.92. It would like equated to like $250 million a year. that
Yeah,
would go
it's
back into
outrageous. It's outrageous.
The
One of the-
numbers.
But if the Sprint
It's
merger comes in,
all-
I'm telling you right now, if the
That's gonna be
Sprint merger come
interesting.
right now, I'm telling you right now, Marshall, hold on to your stock.
Without giving any confidential information, is that like anytime soon?
They-
Is that publicly? Does
this is
anybody
what was said
publicly know-
today.
Publicly, was that said?
This is what was said today. There's nobody talking about it, and when stuff like this happens, if nobody's talking about it, that's a good thing.
So the last public thing I watched was John Ledger and
At the call
Marcello. They sat in front of the House of Representative and testified about.
Because it
the
seems like
merger.
that AT&T shit went real quick when we
It
were you
did.
there for that?
I
For the-
was there.
Yeah, that shit
Yeah.
went quick. Like within a year,
Yeah.
people were like, "This shit's about to happen next month. It's
Yeah.
either gonna happen or not happen next."
well,
month."
the thing about this is though is like
The government shutdown slowed stuff down too.
they're really worried about though like T-Mobile, if they did merge with Sprint, like the 5G network, we're going to be able to get into cable. We're going to be able to get into a home internet.
Good,
where-
fuck Xfinity, yeah,
but
we
that's-
need
and that's
it,
and that's the
yeah.
thing that we're wanting to
Yeah.
step in. And Rob hit that today. He was just like, the most broken business right now, the most
It's
broken
cable.
industry is cable.
Because everyone's regionalized out, so
Yeah.
you have your entire region where no one else messes with you.
Yeah, and it's like you can't even compare Xfinity and CenturyLink.
You
Like if
can't.
you want
It's not
fast
a
internet, you have
comparison.
Xfinity. Period.
Yeah.
You have an option, but it's a fucking shitty option.
Yeah.
But as opposed to because there's times where my Xfinity fucks up and I just turn my hotspot on it and
And
go
it
with
probably
T-Mobile.
works faster
and it works even
sometimes,
better. Yeah, it's more
yeah.
reliable.
Bro,
so-
they're saying right
Yeah.
now if this goes through, our 5G literally will be faster than most wireless internets out there. Like
It will.
We'll see. We'll see.
It's most wired.
We're
It
gonna see.
is.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. I think
Did you
it's gonna
see
be
the
a good
home
thing.
the home internet thing?
Which one?
It's invited customers only. Like they're gonna be
no.
like they're pushing out like rural area like wireless internet. Like
Well, that's what
wireless internet.
Sprint's a big contributor on in the cell phone
Well, we
industry.
need
is
that
rural
frequency,
area.
bro. We need that frequency.
Yeah.
The CDMA network.
it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be fun. I appreciate, I think we'll kind of wrap it up here because we've been live for just over 2 hours.
I got to
now.
get up at 4, so we
Yeah.
better close this up.
No, it was a good time. Thanks, Joe, for stopping by, hanging out with us,
sir.
sharing some of your opinions. Hopefully, we get you back on the show again.
It was a fun time.
Yeah, maybe not. We'll be looking at some real estate stuff here shortly. I still have the MLS on my email. I be checking it all the time, but I don't know. Maybe we need to adjust my brackets because I'm not seeing anything that's like worth jumping out and going for it. So let's
It's not gonna
reevaluate.
look like it's worth it, but it's worth it.
Let's look at some things.
Joe has his little Starbucks cup there. I just realized that. Is that a realtor thing or what?
Nah, it's just I drink coffee now.
I'm just kidding, bro.
I put down. I kicked the alcohol cup for a little bit, and now I'm drinking coffee.
Coffee. But yeah, find him on Facebook. Facebook.com. Joe.Gary.
Or just Google Joe Gary Realtor.
Google
There's
Joe
only
Realtor.
one of us in the U.S.
Yeah, there he goes. One of the best by far, going above and beyond to help all of his clients. I've seen it firsthand on multiple occasions. I've helped out on a few occasions.
Just go watch his videos. What he's doing extra.
He's on his game. Love to have him here. Great talking with him. We'll look forward to seeing what our next show entails. I appreciate the feedback. He came in and helped us kind of change a few settings here, based off of watching the first episode and doing the one camera setup where we can see all three of us. I think that was a good idea instead of having the split cameras. Looking forward to some feedback. If anyone else is watching, enjoyed the show, make sure you hit that follow button so that way you don't get notified of when we go live. We'll upload the live or the replay of the live podcast on our YouTube channel, so you can go on there and check it out. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Any closing remarks you got for us?
I don't got nothing. That's it.
Be smart. Don't be a retard.
Find me on Twitter if you want @FireMarshall. Hit me up. I'm very active on there. And if anyone's interested in coming on the show, hanging out with us, give us a ring.
Anything, bring any subject. We're willing to talk about it. This is all about free speech, talking about what we want to do. Definitely hit us all up. My Twitter handle is at VCG4888. I literally, I'm not in the social game like that. I barely even know how to use Instagram.
Yeah.
When a girl gives me a Snapchat, I'm like, what do I do with this? Like, literally, I'm outside the game. But yeah, it was a great show tonight.
That Snapchat. I'm like, baby.
I'm still learning, but thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate
sure.
you having on. Thanks everyone for hanging out and watching with us, and follow us on social media. You'll see that next time we go live, we'll post schedule and stuff on there. Hopefully, we can get something consistent. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. Have a good night, guys.
Later.